Barnaby Jones will return next Thursday night at 10, 9 Central and Mountain on most of these stations.
Hello.
Welcome back. Yep, we're here.
Hello.
That's right. What started off as just being me and Artie has now been a full-fledged Oh Yeah podcast. Welcome back
to the
everybody.
Oh Yeah podcast.
Episode 48?
I think it is, right? We did more than 48s.
I think so. Who knows?
I did,
We've got to be up to the 200s by now.
On my Spreaker account, I am at just for Spreaker 4 million downloads total since I've been with Spreaker. But prior to that, I was with Libsyn.
4 million?
4 million downloads total.
Wow.
And then at Libsyn, I had 3 million before I left. So I'm over 7 million downloads.
Wow. Those are all unique downloads too? Wow.
Yes,
that's crazy.
So that includes the Oh Yeah podcast, which accounts for at least 4
10
of those.
Probably a third of that. Yeah.
At least.
It might be like 2/3 of that, Might be a lot.
Definitely.
Yeah. That and Brian Michael Bendis's, and then the other ones.
Yeah, they're good.
It's true. Hello. I'm doing, can I mention I'm Sunday, I'm doing a live word balloon with Bendis, and for my Patreon patrons that are paid subscribers and Bendis's Discord, and we're doing a book club, and we're reading the first. Brian and I have already read it, but the first volume of Ed Brubaker's book Criminal.
I like it. Criminal.
So that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
I watched your show with the Superman Museum.
She's
Morgan.
Great.
Yeah, Morgan. Awesome.
She's really. And I'm glad you met her already back when you were down there in Metropolis, Illinois.
Yeah, we talked since we talked online since then. Like she remembers me from the visit, but then when she was on Collector's Call, we were talking, and she wanted to make sure my painting got on the show. And she said that her dad loves it, and he wanted to put it in the lobby so everyone could see it. Because I remember when I gave him the painting, her dad was he's real like serious looking, and I'm like,
oh really?
I'm like, man, I don't know if your dad was happy. She went, yeah, you made him happy. I'm like, really? Because when I talked to him, he just looked at me and went, and that's all. And she said, yeah, you made him laugh. I go, really? And so when I gave him the painting, I said, I want to donate this painting to the museum. He goes, I'm going to hang it right here. And he hung it right behind the cash register. I go, you don't want it for the museum? No, right here. I'm like, okay. So
sadly, Morgan's father, not to bring us all down, but Morgan's father sadly passed away at the end of the year, I guess.
Yeah. But he was, that's why I talked to her again. I was like, hey, your dad was real cool. And so, but it was that's a good place.
Yeah, for people who don't know and didn't watch the episode or hear it on Word Balloon, he had and has, and it's in the Super Museum, great stuff from the 50s show, like George Reeves' glasses from the thing. And I mean, I don't know if it was a real prop or not, but a gray suit, but also like Dean Cain's Superman costume.
Yeah.
And I think a Helen Slater Supergirl costume.
Yeah, he's really got a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's real cool. And before I donated the painting, I had like 4 things already in there that I didn't know. Like all the Super Pet plushies is what made it in there. All like the Streaky and Crypto plushies, and he had some comics in there, which is I think he had some Tiny Titans comics and some Superman Family. So it's pretty cool, like walking through and seeing, Dad, that's your thing right there. Like, yeah. So
cool. Absolutely.
That was
I
pretty
hope to
fun.
go down there some year. I suck at driving. I don't even like driving like 2 hours, let alone 5.5
Yeah,
down to Metropolis. But yeah, and also Morgan was telling me that whatever the nearest airport is, they're going to have a Chicago route soon.
Oh, cool.
So cool. I'm like, well, that's cool. Yeah. And no, she was very, very nice. She was at the Alex Ross Kingdom Come screening.
Oh, yeah. I see pictures. You're on stage interviewing the guys. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like Ben Mankiewicz on Turner Classic Movies. And Artie, I don't know about you, but Music Box, because I know you're a
Music Box.
Ravone Rat Theater guy more than or Morova, whatever it is. Yeah. But man, I've been going to that theater since I was a teenager, watching movies and stuff. So actually to be there and present a movie and do a Q&A afterwards, I'm like, are you kidding me?
That's the one by Loyola, right? Up north? On Sheridan Road?
No, it's only like less than a mile away from Wrigley Field.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of over there. It's like Addison and Southport.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know where it is. Yeah, because I know the one at Loyola had the Rocky Horror Picture Show all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm used to the Music Box too, because I hung out there a lot in my 20s, seeing concerts and stuff, and between the Music Box and the Smart Bar and all those places. And what's that underground one? Yeah. So that's cool, man. It looked pretty fun. I couldn't make it. I think I was out of town, or my boy was graduating or something when you sent the invite. But,
yeah, no, that's okay. These things happen. We invited Svengoolie. It was awesome. Svengoolie's in the movie, and he's not in makeup. He's in his secret identity of Rich Goes. But we all know it. We're all kind of like
you know him, yeah.
Yeah, we all know who Clark Kent is. And when he came on, the audience was so into the movie and just like cheered when Svengoolie came on.
Oh, cool.
Like a football college kind of cheer. It was so great. And I texted, I'm like, Rich, they went nuts when they saw you. And he's like, oh yeah, that's great. Thanks, John. And he's so normal and run of the mill. He's like, oh, great. Okay.
It's like, there's our guy. Yeah, woohoo. Yeah, it's like when that's going on with the Pope now at the Sox games, because they had they dug deep, man, and found a clip of him at the World Series in the stands with like his brother and his niece or nephew or something, and you could see he's not really in focus. It's the kid who caught the ball or something, but next to him is the Pope, and this was already 20 years ago, so he looks like he's a much younger looking man than he is now.
So it was the White Sox. It was the White Sox series. It wasn't the Cubs World Series.
No, it was Sox in 2005. Good. He's at the game 3 or something like that. There's one of the games.
So now we know why they won.
Yeah, well, he brought enchantment. Yeah, he brought the divine influence. Yeah,
maybe that's.
But that's why they're doing bad, because he's probably in Italy right now. He's over there doing his thing.
Yeah, he needs to come back. They stink.
Yeah. Well, they said that
he coming here to do a mass here on the same day as Trump's parade or something like that.
Is he? Well, they said that.
I didn't hear that. That's fantastic.
That white smoke over there smells like barbecue. That's all they're saying.
Smells like hot dogs.
Yeah, he knows how to eat real good. Yeah.
Essence of Harold's. Yeah. Hey, do me a favor, all right? Dip the smoke in a little bit of this, okay?
Yeah, it's the first Pope who knows about Harold's. You can say, "Did you ever have Harold's?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, of course."
He goes into Harold's. He's like, "Can I have an extra empty bucket?" And they go, "Why?
Yeah.
What do you want it for?"
What the hell does he want an empty bucket?
Artie, he's got to order his food and then stand there and go.
Yeah, you gotta be irritated. Like, nah.
Okay,
and that an hour wait for your chicken is very normal. You can't complain.
Artie, you know Harold's very well. What flavor, color soda is he getting?
Oh, red pop. It's not red flavor. It's a color. Red pop.
Yeah, red.
I like they don't have Pepsi or Coke. They have red pop.
Yeah. The other one you want? Oh, purple. We got purple too, and orange. Orange is still flavor. Orange pop. Purple.
Is red strawberry or is it cherry?
I don't know. It says red pop on the bottle.
Yeah.
I should have bought it just to keep it and bring it home, because I've been collecting bags, like Harold's chicken bags. A 75th anniversary for Harold's, and it's the 75th anniversary for Riccobenny's, and I have the bags. I put them in the plastic sleeves, and they're real nice.
Isn't the Pope 75 years old now too? So like it's all divine. Whoa!
And you know what? Portillo's has the new Leo sandwich. because they based it off of the Pope, and it's a beef sandwich with special seasoning. And instead of dipping it, they baptize it. And that's an actual style of Chicago. When you say, and it's never something that's on the menu, like dipped or dry. And you could say baptize means they dunk it and hold it in there a little bit. And then they take it out. And it's impossible to hold. Yeah, and so Portillo's has now the Leo. And that's what it is. It's a baptized special seasoned beef with hot peppers. And I haven't tried it yet, but it looks cool.
Do they release white smoke when you order it? So this way everybody knows.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that's just barbecue. That's like a Weber's grill smoke. That's what was going on.
Did you guys see the movie Conclave? I think it's so ironic that we got a new pope the year that movie was one of the Oscar movies and stuff. It's
a good movie. With Voldemort, starring Voldemort, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And my God, everybody, Lithgow and Tucci's in it. Stanley Tucci's in it.
Tucci. Yeah.
The Tucci's in it. And Isabella Rossellini.
Rossellini.
I like it. I'm a sister. Hey, shut up, you cardinal. Shut up.
You're on
I'm the nun.
Together get each other.
Hey, yo, I'm the nun. I slap your face.
She's got a rolling pin in her hand. I swear I've cracked some skulls. That red's not just going to be on your caps when I get through with you. Great movie. That's an outtake from Conclave, everybody.
I can't wait to meet the Pope. He'll be back soon. I know it.
And Artie, didn't you love when the initial, like, they're like, Pope Leo, formerly Cardinal Leo from Dalton, Illinois. And, like, the network's like, apparently he's a Cub fan. And all of us in Chicago are like, bullshit. He's from
everyone.
The South Side. He's a Sox fan. Don't be idiots. That
was the biggest competition everyone wanted to know. Is the Sox or Cubs? You have to pick a team. You can't like both. You have to.
True.
Just like, wasn't Obama a Sox guy too?
Yeah, Obama Sox. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I remember his first year president, he went to the Washington Nationals Park, and he threw out the first pitch, and everyone cheered. And after he threw the first pitch, he took the jersey off, and he had a White Sox jersey underneath.
Oh, man.
Then he took off the hat and took out the Sox hat in his back pocket, and then he got booed.
No one, oh, man. Trump hates him so much.
That was pretty cool. And like, yeah, man, you can't deny yourself. And even my one unspoken rule, well, it's a spoken rule, unwritten rule, I would say, is whenever I fly to a major city, especially, well, so far it's been New York or San Diego, I got to fly in there wearing a Sox cap because I have to bring the White Sox cap into the place when I'm landing. I can't put it on when I'm there because I lost it. So I got to enter New York with the Sox cap on. But then I could take it off if I want. But
I was going to say, you don't keep it on the entire weekend and shower with it and everything?
No, but I got to enter the city with the hat on. And that's what I understand why Obama did that. Because he had the jersey on underneath the Nationals jersey.
It was like putting an NWO shirt on.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
I tell you what happened at the airport to me once. And I was going through and they made me take off the shoes and all this stuff. And I just bought a brand new Sox cap. And it's the white one with the blue and with the red bill. I was like, man, I didn't want to put it through the machine because it was going to get dirty. And sometimes you got to wait for it and it rolls out and it's got smudge on it. So I asked the guy, can I carry this? Can I hold this on? And he looked at me and he saw I was wearing an NWO shirt. And he went, all right, I'll let you, even though you're a Sox fan. Yeah, go ahead. And I went, thanks. He went, Wolfpack for life. And he gave it a Wolfpack symbol. Like, oh, cool. Because that shirt saved my life. Saved my hat. Wolfpack for life. Like, thanks.
Do the Sox, I haven't been watching this season. And really, I really wasn't even paying attention to the Cubs until this season.
Yeah.
But the Cubs have a bunch of new uniform colors. And really, like technically they're team colors. But like they have like really baby blue. They look like pajamas when they wear them, and stuff. So do the Sox have like new crazy colors?
The Sox. Oh, I have the hat here. The Sox have red and black like the Bulls. So here's the hat. I just
what the hell? Yeah, and also that's a weird. I'm sorry, buddy. That's a weird logo. I don't like the wing on the sock.
Yeah. I love it, and the inside too is like all South Side and it's all detailed. But these are called City Connect hats. And all the home teams wear them every Friday game. So that's why the Cubs got the baby blue one. That's their home their Home City Connect hats. So Sox have this, and they did this because of its Bulls too. It's Sox and Bulls, and it's called Bread in Chicago, like bread, like BRED, not like a loaf of bread, not like Coke Leo,
or like
fornication bread.
Yeah, fornication bread with the Bulls and the Sox, because the Reinsdorf owns both teams, so I think that's why they did this. But it's cool design, like the inside is real cool. But so I haven't worn it outside yet. I've been wearing it down here when I work. It's kind of cool.
So is the Cubs baby blue supposed to be like that Chicago flag that has baby blue and red?
I think
so. Probably.
Yeah,
that's
it's the same. It's the same Chicago flag colors. Yeah, because last year was I forgot what the Cubs just said, Wrigleyville, and the Sox said Southside. But they did those last year, I think for 2 years, and then this year is the different ones. So I know that Boston Red Sox last year had the Boston Marathon colors, like the blue and the gold and yellow, and this year they're green. I don't know what the green is, probably for the Green Monster, but a lot of the teams are revealing their outfits now. And
so let me ask you a question. Like when I was a kid watching games in the 70s, the Mets had one uniform, one hat, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe an away uniform and a home
and away.
Yeah,
2 uniforms.
But like now they have like a uniform like every other game. How do you keep track of that? How do you, like, if you're a player, how do you? No, I understand the money part, but if you're a player, how do you keep track of all? Like you know.
They got
a guy. It's not each player. They got a guy, man.
They got the laundry guy.
They got a guy. They got a guy.
They
I like that.
They got a laundry guy.
Very Chicago. They got a guy.
They got a guy. You know,
they got a guy over there.
It's
our
true.
guy Kevin Bixby. Kevin Bixby was that guy for the Bears. He used to.
I didn't know that.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah, he told me he worked in the locker rooms. He was in charge of everything they wore, all the laundry. So he had to make sure the uniforms were there, and then he had to pick up towels. And I said, "Wow, that's cool." And he says, "Nah, it's not very glamorous because, like, you know, you get it before the game, after the game.
A lot of skid marks and stuff.
Yeah, you get the.
It's like Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah, before the game and after
the game. Take this, nerd.
So then let me ask you another question, because you buy a lot of hats, and when you wear them, there's a breaking in period, right?
Yeah.
With the hats and stuff. So if you're playing a game, that breaking in period is during the game. What the heck?
No,
man?
like these hats. I'm gonna say something. Like my size is 7 5/8. For those of you out there who want to buy me a hat, it's 7 5/8. That's my hat size. But sometimes when I go to the store and I buy them, and they always fit, because you could, if it's too tight, you grab the next one, and then it's also 7 5/8 and they'll fit. But sometimes these are a little snug, and when you put them on, they're like 1/8 of an inch too tight. And I got this one and this one too. This is a special one. These are limited edition. This is just blue, and it's got the purple underneath and just orange top. This is almost like a Mets hat.
I was going to say the Mets colors. Yeah.
And this one is
Cub colors, man.
Yeah, this is not a hat they wore on the field. This is kind of like collector's hat, and it's got just the All-Star game and the dates. And so they put these out, and they're only available probably for like 2 weeks before they sell out. But both of these hats I ordered online, and they were a little snug, but I had to buy this thing. Looks like a Game of Thrones torture device.
But it's like a shoe tree for your head.
Yeah, you put this in the hat, and it stretches it.
Looks like Mr. Tarantula would have it.
Yeah, you put it in
how
here.
you doing? Yes.
Yeah, it's like a shoe
make you
stretcher
7 6/8.
So I have to put it in here, and then you stretch it real good, and you stretch it until this thing, like, it doesn't break the seams. You just keep going until you can't turn this thing, and then I let my hat sit for 2 days, and now they fit
My
great.
dad had those in the 70s for his shoes, basically.
Yeah.
But I like, Mr. Tarantula, I'm making you cowl bigger. I put this in, and I'm making you fat ahead.
Yeah.
Make your head
so
the fatter.
These are like also 5 7/8, or 7 5/8. Sorry, but in case you're taking notes on the audio. But
looks like New York Knicks colors.
Yeah, but they're really cool, and I like to buy the hats that are worn on the field by the team. Once in a while, I'll buy a hat that's limited edition, like collectors run. But you got to be quick. If you don't get them when they go up, they're gone in like probably sometimes hours. Sometimes like 2 weeks is the longest I've seen it. But it's always like your sizes are always gone. The sizes that but the smalls are always available. And but yeah, man, I like hats. I'll be wearing them in San Diego.
I learned so much about hats in the last 5 minutes that I didn't know about.
Hell yeah, man!
Yeah, welcome to all your hats.
This is just baseball caps, and I just bought some. I buy the flat caps sometimes online, but they never fit right. I don't know what it is. So I had two real good, cool hats that were too tight for me. And then I just trying them on. I used a hat stretcher, but they didn't work on this material. I don't know why they don't work. So I called Gordy over. I said, Gordy, come here. And I put the hat on him. How's that feel? And he goes, wow, this is good. I'm like, all right, how about that one? This is good too. Well, so now he has my two real cool hats. And he loves them. And the more expensive the hat, the better it feels on your head. It's a weird thing. Yeah.
Do they have one of those things for shrinking the hat, like a hat shrinker?
Probably. Yeah.
Do they have
a hat shrinker? You just throw it in the pool, I guess. Yeah,
you get a voodoo doctor from Africa, and they come and they shrink your head for you.
You put lemon on it. You put lime on it. I don't know, but I know if you get it wet, it'll shrink, or if you sweat in it and stuff.
Ooh.
It'll the fibers.
Carrie has a good hat question.
Oh
He
yeah.
wants to know. So flat top caps are a different size. I am taking notes.
Yeah. Some companies have them in hat size. Others have them in centimeter size or metric, and others have them in large, extra large, medium. But usually when I buy Goran Brother hats, they're extra larges. But sometimes the ones I get in the mail never fit, so I got to go to the store and try them on.
Okay, so now wait, I'm confused because I'm learning about hats now.
Yeah.
A flat top hat, is that like one of the conductor hats where it's flat on the top? Like, what does that mean?
It's like the hat, like we used to call them fart in the bag hats because because I'm going to tell you, like, remember the show Beretta? You know,
of course,
where he would wear those hats. He wears a flat cap, almost like they call it a newsboy
flat cap. Okay.
Flat cap, yeah. And it's like a newsboy cap, like paper
curly.
mister. Those like curly.
Yeah, like curly on the studios. What the kind of cap he'd wear.
Remember there was a show who Al Capone had that on it, and I forgot what show it was, and they said, why are you wearing a boy's hat? And then he had to wear a fedora after that. But that flat cap newsboy, but nowadays the style is more narrow, where the flat cap newsboy is wider than your head, but now they make them narrow, and those are flat caps. And what was I just saying before that? What was the question before that?
Flat caps. What
Yeah.
The flat caps.
Well, that's the style. But the
well, and also you were talking about sizes and the different sizes.
Yeah. So if I go to the store, Goran Brothers, there's probably the best hats, and when I buy them, I gotta buy extra large, but I gotta try it on because I tried them online and they were too small. But I saw this how I became friends with Adam Hughes, because he's kind of like we know each other, but he doesn't really talk because he's kind of shy a little bit. So I noticed he had a Goran Brothers hat because the Goran Brothers has the patch on the back. So we're walking behind him. It was in San Diego. And I went, hey, man, I like Goran Brothers hats too. And he stopped and turned around. He goes, aren't they the best? And he took off his hat and started talking about his hat and how he washes it in the dry laundry and all this, dries it. Don't want to dry it. Don't want to dry put too long. You got to take it out when it's still wet. And I'm like, yeah, man. So it was real cool. We bonded over hats. So now he talks to me when I see him.
Andy Parks is a big hat guy as well.
Big, he likes the fedoras. Yeah. Fedoras
he
are
looks
cool
good in
too.
a fedora.
Yeah, I'm always leery about ordering fedoras online because I don't want them to come in a box all smashed. So, but it's a cool thing, man. It's a cool thing to shop for.
Speaking of hats, June 19th, pick up my cover of Archie Meets Kevin Smith. Through Comics, I did an alternate cover or variant cover. So you should pick that up. But speaking of Archie and hats, what about Jughead's hat?
Jughead, I wouldn't wear that.
It's a crown, but you know
it's a crown. I don't know what it's called though.
Yeah,
those are old fedoras just cut up. They used to wear them.
Oh, really?
Back in the way back. Yeah, like a useless piece of information that I know.
Jay Foskett has one of those.
Yeah, it was a fedora where you would cut off the brim because it was mostly used by mechanics and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And holes and stuff in it. So they would cut the brim off and then make the jagged things and flip them up. So that's where you got the crown hat.
I know what I was saying. I know this is good. This is good. So remember I mentioned Beretta, and he had the old newsboy hats, and his wasn't so floppy. It was more narrow. And when I was a kid, we were all drawing, and I was trying to draw a guy in the Betta hat, and that's what I knew. It was like, I don't know, how did, like, those were new to me, and I had, like, maybe an uncles wore those, and old guys always wore them. And I told my cousins, I said, what does the Betta hat look like? I want to draw the Betta hat. And my older cousin said, it looks like a fart in a bag. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, draw a fart in a bag. That's what those hats look like. I'm like, all right. So I actually drew a bag on my character's head with stink coming out of the bag. And so me and my brother and my cousins called the flat caps fart in the bag hats.
Fart in the bag hat.
So whenever they see me, they say, hey, that's a nice fart in the bag hat. I'm like, thanks. So
You know why I thought Beretta would wear the hat all the time? To keep
Why?
the bird from shitting on his head. Because he
it's
had
probably,
that bird.
yeah, it's a pre.
Fred.
Yeah.
How you
cockadoo in
doing,
the hat.
Fred? All right,
Yeah.
Fred. Hello.
Hey, how you
hello.
cockadooing? Yeah.
That's the name of that tune.
The
Mhm.
cockadoo would fart in his bag
Yeah,
hat.
fart in a bag hat. See, my old guy memories like loses me.
I just
as
want to
I'm
say
talking.
for the record, we've been talking for 25 minutes about hats.
Yeah, hats and
Yeah.
baseball and
There's
Pope.
nothing
man.
wrong with that. I'm just
Good
pointing it
stuff.
out. That's how long the hat
It's
talk
the,
has been.
it's the Oh Yeah Hat cast.
Yeah. Now wait till the people start buying Pope hats because there's guys showing up to the games now. At the
Isn't that
Sox
hilarious?
Cubs game. Sox Cub game, there's like 6 guys in the outfield, all dressed like the Pope, and and the Sox are selling Pope shirts. It's the you know that Sox logo with the batter logo from the 80s. Well, they have that, but he has the Pope hat on and he's holding it like a big cross. So they said that shirt's outselling regular Sox shirts right now at the park.
It's funny.
Yeah, Pope Leo. Hey,
I'm
Leo.
telling you, man.
man.
I always wanted to get a fedora, but
Yeah.
they're too on me. I look like Amish or whatever. They're too big. They're too wide.
Oh,
so
yeah.
what I gotta get is a Blues Brothers style fedora
Yeah.
because that's more narrow.
Yeah,
and
they
that
make
would
the
fit my
they make
head
the
better.
short brim ones too. They make real tiny brims. They're only about an inch.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yep.
you got to get those.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're they might be called pork pie. I'm not sure because you could wear them and you could bend the edges up or you could fold them down or whatever you want.
Pork pie is kind of more Walter White and Buster Keaton.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Tom Brevoort, right? Doesn't Tom
And
Brevoort
Tom
wear
Brevoort.
those?
Yeah,
Yes, you're
Brevoort,
right.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not sure if pork pie means it's round on top or flat. I don't know. There's different styles.
No.
Because I know like fedoras, you're supposed to pinch them and take them off like that, and that's what meant for
You
that.
know,
pinch.
the
No,
guy. that
I've never
broke
seen
the-
Indiana Jones take his head off like that.
It never falls off.
The
Yeah.
guy that broke the hat fashion thing in the early 60s was Kennedy, John F. Kennedy.
Oh, like
Because
he
all
ended
the
it?
other, prior to that in the 50s, everybody was wearing hats and even into the early 60s.
Yeah,
But I decided that I would not wear a hat.
we
and
had
I
good
would
hair.
be more youthful and vigorous. And
Look at
while
my-
I was having sex with Marilyn Monroe and Gina Lola-Brigida.
Are you going to
That's
wear the
what I
hat,
would
Mr. Kennedy? Well, let me ask Jackie and the kids. I'll get back to you in the morning.
True.
But I know the guy who wore it the best. One of the guys was Gene Kelly. So he would have the hat and he would tilt it. His hats were always at an angle.
I don't remember
Gene
Gene
Kelly.
Kelly wearing a hat, frankly. I
Oh,
don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
he
trust
does.
that guy. He was always singing in the rain, that guy.
Oh,
Hey,
that's
like-
true. And Singing in the Rain. Of course
Yeah,
he's wearing
his
a
hat was a little crooked.
Yeah, of course he's wearing a hat then.
Does
Mhm.
RFK Jr. wear a hat?
I
I don't
used to
know.
wear a hat, but I had issues with it, and I found that when I would swim in raw sewage, the hat would get ruined. And seriously, like the worm in his brain wasn't weird enough. And I killed a buffalo in Central Park, and I kept it in my trunk.
Does he have a
It was
worm in
up
his
there.
brain?
Yeah.
He did,
Yeah,
yeah.
he said there's a worm in his brain. For real.
Really? Still
Oh,
in
yeah,
there?
look it up, Artie. That's real.
I don't wear the hats because they're vaccinated, and I don't
How
wear
did he-
vaccinated hats.
How did he get it in there? He sniffed it?
He ate a bad pork sandwich.
He let it in through his ear hole.
He had
And
an
it
apple.
made its
in
way.
his-
It took a
Yeah,
long
I'm
time
not-
to travel up there, but it got there.
I'm not following these headlines usually.
I swear to God, that's true. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
Swear.
Not a myth.
Yeah.
Not an imaginary story, Artie. Not a hoax.
Does he pause
he
during
said.
sentences? Let me ask Jackie and the kids.
Here, Sean McInerney wants to know what everybody's drawing tonight.
Oh,
Oh, I can't.
Oh,
I can't tell you.
real
I
question.
have a page open for an Oh Yeah Comics page.
Mm.
Yeah,
I have a work thing I'm doing for work.
Yes.
yeah, works.
It's a comic.
What's Johnny drawn?
I'm drawing a check. I'm drawing some
Very good.
cash out of my bank account.
Yeah, Johnny.
Ooh, wow.
Curtains.
Drawing
Yeah.
great. I'm gonna be drawing the
Yeah,
tub
unfortunately,
later.
it's going right to my to fix my car.
The Two-Face, Harvey Dent.
No, Harvey Dent's long gone.
Oh, he's dead.
For people who don't know, I used to have I used to have a Nissan Sentra, a red Nissan Sentra, and it got hit on one side, and it was a big dent. And I used to call it Harvey Dent.
Because I know my showed it. Hey, you want to go see Johnny's car? They were little, about 10, 8, 9, 10 years old. Yeah. They're like, sure. And you walk around one side and it's real nice. And then you walk around and see the other side. It's all smash like Two-Face. And they were like, cool. Wow. They loved it.
Yep. It's true. It's true. A friend of mine's like, no, that's your hoopty. Because I guess that's a street, code. For banged up car, hoopty. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it was also called a bucket. Another one's called a bucket. A hoopty is, I think the bucket is like a beater. I'm not sure.
Ken Dog's right. He said RFK's worm in his head is just like in the Wrath of Khan.
Really?
Yeah, we just used to call those cars pieces of crap. Yeah.
Did the worm go through his ear?
Jeffrey Darcy, actually, for the win. Mr. Mind lives in RFK Jr.'s head.
This is a real thing, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he acknowledges it? Oh, it's the worm.
Yeah, it's like very soberly. I have a way that actually got in my brain and slowly eating it.
He told this story, or one of his kids told this story about where he hit like a bear or something with his car upstate or something like that in New York, and he thought it would be funny to put it on the roof of his car and drive it into the city. But the way the kids tell the story is like they were in the back seat and this thing was hit by a car. So it's dripping stuff. And it's dripping on the car, inside the car, because they have the windows open because there's a dead carcass on there.
Yeah. And the rope is through I'm sure the rope is through the.
Yeah. So, and then like he thought it'd be funny to leave it in Central Park, and it was all over the news. Like here in New York, like there was a dead bear found in Central Park, and everybody was freaking out. And apparently it was him that left it there.
So he revealed years later that he was the guy. Remember that bear that everyone found out?
Yeah.
That's weird. I didn't know.
Now he's in charge of our health department for the government. Great.
With a worm. Yeah. Well, now he knows. Like, don't do this or you'll get a worm. So maybe the worm got from the bear. Did it come from the bear's anus and went into his? It leaked through
from the bear's anus to his anus. That's right.
Right up there. Traveled through.
All up in there. Yeah.
Went against
the current. Like nice American folk tales like George Washington and the cherry tree chopping down the cherry tree.
Yeah. I will not tell a lie.
Now we got the bear's anus.
Yeah, and the worm eating the guy's brain. That's right, and that's why Junior had a worm eating his brain.
Is it a little worm? What kind of worm is it?
That's Mr. Mind. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Wow, that's weird. I didn't know. Does he feel it as an itch? He can't quite get that itch.
I haven't arranged my one-on-one with RFK yet.
I think what the story is he puts his butt down on the carpet and he scoots across like a dog.
I seen it work for dogs. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's what he does.
Francis Jeffrey says that it was the whale's head that dripped on his family vacation.
Oh yeah, the whale's head. That's right. The bear was the other one where he just put it in the car.
Feds. Yeah. Hide the whale. He had a whale too.
To God, kid.
It's like the Simpsons. It's like the Simpsons when Mo and they all have the killer whale. Yeah, hide in the back.
Hide the whale.
My favorite line from the Simpsons is like, "I'm gonna rip out your tongue and paint my boat with it." That's what he said. If I ever find you, kid, I'm gonna rip out your tongue and paint my boat with it.
He goes, if I ever catch you, I'm gonna shove a hot sausage. What he said, I'm gonna shove hot sausage down your throat and a wild pack of dogs up your ass.
The whale episode, if I remember correctly, was the X-Files one with Scully and Mulder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, it's the feds. Yeah.
And I remember Mars saying, "Oh, we must have a bad connection." Jeez, it's the feds. Yeah.
I just sent you guys some clips before we potted about the Troy McClure, all of Troy McClure's.
Yeah, I saw that.
You might remember me from, and it was just a series on Instagram of all
the
of his.
Decapitation of Leadfoot Larry. And dial M for murderousness.
Funny.
Murderousness.
All those movie titles and Seinfeld's movie titles.
Oh yeah.
Chunnel.
Yep.
Death Blow. Chunnel.
Sack Lunch.
I was saying to my friend who is a Seinfeld trivia maven, and I'm like, "What's the Dabney Coleman movie that Elaine went to see instead of Schindler's List, and it was Sackcloth.
there's always a coming of age story.
Yeah.
Rochelle.
Young woman's journey from Milan to Minsk. Right?
That's right. And Bette Midler did the Rochelle the musical.
No, Bette Midler. Yeah, when she took all the nail salon ladies. No, Bette Midler.
That's good stuff.
I'm telling you.
Awful.
Oh, guys, TV. I'm so behind on all these streaming shows, and what rabbit hole show have I now become obsessed with? I never watched it in the 90s or early 2000s. The show was on for 10 years.
Friends.
Jag.
What is it?
Jag.
Jag?
Which
Jag
is
off.
not a nasty thing. It is about a naval lawyer that was a fighter pilot, and then he got night blindness, and so now he's a lawyer in the Navy.
Yeah, Catherine Bell.
It is so Top Gun meets A Few Good Men in the best way. The pilot, that's why I watched the pilot and I'm like, oh my God. And it was a murder mystery on an aircraft carrier. And I'm like, I'm there. This is amazing.
Isn't it Don Belisario, the same guy that did Magnum and a whole bunch of other things?
And Quantum Leap. Yeah.
Wow.
And he was a naval guy. And he and I don't mean oranges. And
that show is only nasty if it's off.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Jag.
Oh,
Jag is off
Okay.
tonight. Hey,
It's on. Yeah.
but
Jag,
and also
Jag is
that's
off tonight.
Chem, by the way, ChemDog is correct. Jag NCIS, yes, was a spinoff of Jag.
Really?
That is correct. And B Things as well.
And then
Now, Rudy-
NCIS was a spinoff of NCIS Down Under and NCIS New Orleans and NCIS the early years. Don't they have 42 NCISs now?
I'll be right back.
And CSI too. All right, Scoot.
I always thought it was called NCIS. I never knew. You just have to
With Mark Harmon.
Yeah.
All right,
And
Rudy's
Catherine
got,
Bell was in Jag. Yeah.
that's right, the great Catherine Bell.
I only know her from that.
She was on an episode of Dream On. Oof. Oh boy.
Oh yeah, Dream On.
Yeah. You
and
remember
her
that HBO
pictorial,
show?
Yeah, I remember that.
and her pictorial and Stuff magazine back in the 90s.
I'd like to.
Rudy's got the title wrong.
Prognosis negative, yeah.
Yeah, prognosis negative, not negative prognosis, but close, Rudy, very close.
We know what you mean. Yeah.
So,
Prognosis
and yes,
negative.
ChemDog's correct, and now it's all the FBI's. Yeah, CBS is big on franchising and spinoffs.
Yeah,
I
it
think
works.
they're I could be wrong, but aren't they the only network right now still making 22 episode shows?
One
Really?
of them. Well,
No,
Adam,
they're the only ones, I think.
well, the what's it called? Elementary on ABC.
I have no idea. I think
Adam-
that's.
I don't
Adam
know. I
Al-
don't know if they're 22 episodes though.
There are because one of the critic shows that I watch, we're going over what they think will be the Emmy nominated shows, and whatchamacall Elementary is that has over 20, and but it's Franco. I'm so glad you brought that up because honestly, I think one of the reasons why I'm watching Jag, and this guy that I really like that does critiques of TV shows, he made a big thing about streaming shows and then the way network shows always were. And I gotta say, I really like Abbott Elementary. Thank you, B Things. I was gonna say Adams, and I knew that wasn't right. But the streaming shows, on the one hand, I appreciate them. It's a long one story, but I kind of like the problem of the week.
Yeah,
And I kind of miss that. And also, this guy who is a critic, he was a comedy writer and also a network executive. And he's like, listen, I know it was, a big, torturous thing. And I know I hear Star Trek writers and others say, oh my God, to try and come up with 24 episodes, every year was really a challenge. And it really, it wore us out and everything. But by the same token, now
Get new writers then.
What's that?
We'll get new writers then. But
yeah, and also and I understand that, but now these people are, it's so hard to come up with ideas and stuff. And it's like you only got 8 episodes or 10 episodes, and a lot of times it's 8 or 10 chapters of the same story, and it's like I appreciate it existing, but I wish a lot of shows would go back to more episodes. and different
I
stories.
like these new young writers are like, oh, it's so difficult, but the old writers like, well, back in my day, we had to write 24 episodes.
We had to write mysteries for Columbo. Imagine writing a mystery, Columbo. You got to solve a mystery every.
We had
story.
to write MASH. How do you make war funny? Yeah,
exactly. We had to write Charlie's Angels every week.
Yeah, those boobs aren't going to jiggle on their own. Somebody's got to write that.
There's a lot of slow-mo.
So I found a list of all the Seinfeld movies.
Oh, excellent.
So it's Rochelle, right? Prognosis Negative, Sack Lunch, Chunnel, Blimp, the Hindenburg Story.
I don't remember that one.
It was the Puerto Rican Day parade gets a
lot. Oh, the parade. That they don't show that episode.
Hurt. Yeah,
go ahead.
As the Hindenburg explodes. Checkmate is the film at the center of the plot, the movie, ostensibly about chess and intrigue. They talk about that. Films referred to by Kramer in The Pool Guy was he gets a new phone and offers a single digit for the number. He's off by a single digit, so he becomes Movie Phone.
Yeah, Movie Phone.
Hello.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me what movie you'd like to see? Yeah. So in that episode, he talks about Agent Zero, Brown Eyed Girl, Chow Fun, Cupid's Revival, Firestorm, Mountain High, an R-rated movie starring Kevin Bacon and Susan Sarandon. And then there's the bootlegged films from the episode where Jerry has to film the thing.
Brody. Yeah, the bootlegger. I'm a bootlegger, baby. I'm a bootlegger.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Death Blow. That's the other one. Death Blow. That one.
Man, we're missing the Death Blow.
Yeah. Cry Again.
Yes.
In the comeback episode, Elaine rents several movies, and Vincent's pick.
I remember that.
The Pain and the Yearning. And then other films that were mentioned: Blame It on the Rain, the Calzone episode, Means to an End, Cold Fusion, The Muted Heart, The Other Side of Darkness. Oh, here's one: Ponce de Leon.
Yes, Ponce de Leon. I remember Ponce de Leon. Yep,
that's right. Flaming Globes of Sigmund.
I don't remember
that one. Lenore's Promise. I remember Lenore's Promise. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't there Written on the Wind or something like that?
I don't know. I think that was The Other Side of Darkness, maybe.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, Ponce de Leon. I remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ironic timing on Ponce de Leon. There is a current movie, The Fountain of Youth, that stars John Krasinski and Natalie Portman, and it's directed by Guy Ritchie, and it's on Apple. And every critic I've seen is just ripping the hell out of it.
Oh.
They're saying it's like
gotta watch it now.
They're saying it's a poor man's Indiana Jones.
I heard that. Yeah,
the one with the one with the Fountain of Youth. Was that Last Crusade with Connor?
The Grail? Yeah, the Holy Grail.
Yeah,
when he made him young. Mm-hmm. Maybe they should market it to other neighborhoods, and here's bad. Call it Fountain of Youth. Fountain of Youth. Maybe that might be better.
Oh, Mario saw it. He says Fountain of Youth was not good because the Mavs are out of the NBA.
Are they out?
Is that why he was able to watch it? Oh, that's why he's able to watch it. I
saw LeBron lose, which was weird, but very satisfying and pleasant to see him fall down. Nobody called. I saw him fall. Oh, he crying. Nobody called the foul. That was pretty cool. I kept falling asleep. See, you're not young enough, I guess.
Yeah.
Wayne says Mobland by Guy Ritchie is awesome. Well, that's the thing. I usually love Guy Ritchie movies. Big fan.
Didn't Guy Ritchie do that The Gentleman? He did that, right? That was him. I've never seen the movie, but I happened across the series on Netflix because they did a series, and that was actually pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think that's his real name, or was he just like, who's that rich guy over there? Hey, Guy Ritchie, come over here.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how he got his name. Yeah. Kind of like how I won't say that one.
When he was younger, did they call him Boy Richie?
Boy Richie, yeah.
Maybe.
Young Richie. I don't know.
I was a fan of Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. That was one of his movies.
Yeah. Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah. He was married to Madonna for a while.
Yeah, for about 3 hours or something.
And when he was married to her, all of a sudden Madonna was speaking with an English accent.
Hello.
Yeah. She still does, doesn't she?
Strike a pose. Come on in.
There's a clip of Will and Grace, and they're on some TV show because Madonna appeared on there. And Eric McCormick tells a story of like he couldn't remember any of their names, like which one is which, and it's like it's in the title, honey. I'm sitting right here.
Well,
Will and Grace, yeah.
Grace.
What was the name of the actress on that was Grace? I can't remember her name.
Deborah Messing.
Deborah Messing.
Yeah. She said because Madonna back then was really into Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah,
yeah.
And she's like, oh well, my name is in Hebrew or whatever, and told her name. And Madonna totally lasered in on that and kept calling her the entire week that they were shooting the episode by her Hebrew name and everything.
Man.
So no, they had very funny stories about that week that she was on Will and Grace. Yeah,
that's a good show. That was I like the Will and Grace. I watched that every once in a while.
Madonna's still alive, right? Or is she half android now?
She doesn't have all of her original parts anymore.
Madonna.
Oh, Madonna.
Does she have to blink? Her face is a robot now.
Her face is all changed and everything. So she doesn't have her original parts anymore.
She's like those Japanese companion dolls now, isn't she?
She looks like that Meg 3N doll that goes around.
Yeah. Oh, Megan. Yeah. Meg 3N. Yeah.
Is that what she is? Meg 3N.
Then that's like Chucky now, man. They just keep cranking out those movies. Apparently.
He never.
Well, they did a whole series of Chucky, a television.
Oh, I know
series.
that. Yeah. I knew that, but I'm saying Megan now is like the new.
They're gonna do a Mamma Mia 3. They should call it Mama 3. Yeah.
It's called Grandmama 3.
Mama 3.
Grandmama 3.
But yeah, I just saw that this morning that they're gonna do another one. How many guys did she have sex with? Because that was the whole plot of the first one. She didn't know which one was her.
Yeah, which guy's my dad? Yeah,
baby's mamas or baby daddies.
Baby
dad. Yeah, the woman slept with the 3 guys, so she didn't know who the dad was. That's why she invited them all to the island. But then they had a second one. I don't know what happened there. But now there's a third one. Like, did she sleep with half the island?
There's probably 4 guys.
Aren't they out of ABBA songs at this point? I mean,
4 guys in the next one. Mama Fiva. Yeah.
I think she fornicated to each Mamma Mia, to each ABBA song. Yeah, I think
all together
so.
Or different times? Were they all invited to this special lunch? Like, hey, I'm not doing anything Tuesday afternoon, and all 3 show up. She's like, all right.
Scoots back. What's your favorite ABBA song? That's what we were just talking about.
Man. I don't know, but when I left, I was reminded when I washed my hands. Did you guys order your Sydney Sweeney bath soap yet?
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
Boy.
I'm on the 3rd bar already.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
It's called my Sydney Sweeney.
All right, I'm glad you brought up Sydney
Sweeney. Does it come in liquid form or?
Eventually. I was gonna say, much like Sydney Sweeney, and I don't remember this actress's name. But the girl that was in Logan that played X-23.
Yeah, Daphne something, yeah.
And I know she did a Star Wars thing, didn't she?
She was in the Alpha Light, yeah.
Okay.
The Alpha Light, yeah.
Man, I saw her, much like Jennifer Lawrence back when you first suddenly realized, holy crap, Jennifer Lawrence. And it said like, holy crap, Sydney Sweeney. I saw her on some red carpet thing.
Right.
And she let's just say she has taken off.
She has
and she's flying high.
Yeah.
It's kind of like looking at her is the same feeling as if you say, dude, that's my daughter. Like, okay.
I know.
That's what it feels like.
Well, really, I'm like, whoa, what a hottie. And I'm like, oh, that's the kid from Logan.
It's Wolverine's daughter. Like, all right.
Alicia Silverstone back in the day, of course, 90s favorite.
Yeah.
She made all those Aerosmith videos, and she's in The Crush with Carrie Elways, the horror movie.
Robin.
Yeah.
But even before that, before Batman and Robin, she was dating Ethan Hawke, and Ethan Hawke was in Chicago doing a play at Steppenwolf party.
Yeah, I know that.
And WXRT, the rock station that I worked at, we had a great relationship with the Steppenwolf Theater Company, and we get tickets to previews of plays. And so we went to this play, and it was a great play, and Ethan Hawke was in it. And in the lobby, Alicia Silverstone is there. And she is, first of all, maybe we knew this from Batman and Robin, She's really, really tiny.
Yeah.
And really in person, just dressed down and stuff, she looked like she was 14. And I'm like, I am a dirty old man.
She probably
and
was
I've never
close to that,
never been attracted to her ever since. I'm like, yeah, sorry, no, that's a kid. I'm a terrible person.
And
can we talk about the blatant sexism in that Batman and Robin movie?
Yeah, let's do it. Mm-hmm.
So
I don't remember.
Why are you laughing, Scoot?
I know what you're going to say.
Because he knows what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I know what
you have no idea. You have no. So the Bat suit and the Robin suit had nipples on it, right?
Yeah.
How come the Batgirl suit didn't have nipples?
There were hints. There were hints of nipples. If you look closer, there's a hint because
it was outright nipples. Yeah.
Right, but hers had stitching that outlined slightly, but not so much like Batman and Robin's were very direct, on point.
Yeah, you could cut glass with the Batman and Robin ones.
Yeah.
That's probably how they got into buildings. They would just,
I want a shirt like that with the, there's a lot of Batman logo shirts, but I want it with the nipples on it. I want to wear it in San Diego, and I want a real tight shirt. I don't want it fit real good. It'll be real tight. Walk around.
So tight that you can't tell if it's your nipples or the shirt's nipples.
Did he paint his skin black? Wait a minute. What did he do?
Not good.
Yeah.
Not good. I'm proud to say I've only seen moments of Batman and Robin because when it came out, it got so royally panned. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to watch a crappy Batman movie.
Yeah, you have to.
No.
I got that de-acidified version, which is awesome.
Artie, somebody sent me the DVD of that, but it was broken.
Oh yeah, I remember you said that. Yeah, it broke.
Bummed me out. Really bummed me out. Yeah,
because they got it down to like an hour, and Batman.
Well, like the Phantom Menace. I know they did that with the Phantom Menace too.
Yeah, and all Batman says in it to Mr. Freeze at the end, he says one thing. He goes, "Let me help you." That's it. That's all he says, and there's no bat puns.
Time to ice you up.
Bird
hey,
boy.
how come you got nipples on your uniforms over there?
Yeah.
Hey, why is he walking around smoking a cigar when he's got that condition where he needs to be cold too?
Yeah,
that's a good call.
It keeps him warm.
My cigar keeps going out because of my body temperature.
I think. All right, weren't we talking about this yesterday? Speaking of Arnold Schwarzenegger, I found out that the movie Twins with him and Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
That when they offered him that role, they offered him another movie instead. Like he had the choice. And you remember the Hulk Hogan movie, Suburban Commando?
Yeah.
Remember that movie?
Yes.
So he was going to do that with Danny DeVito until the Twins script came along. And if he had chose Suburban Commando, do you know who the twins were going to be? It was going to be Hulk Hogan and Christopher Lloyd.
What?
Yeah.
Brother.
Brother. What? Brother.
Look at your pythons, brother. Yeah.
I have another Suburban Commando story. Gabe Hartman and I, sadly,
we don't want to hear about you not wearing pants. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. That should have been. I'm sure there's a porn version of Suburban Commando. Exactly.
You better run, squirrel.
Hey, they don't allow those on the beach. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. Hey.
Last week, Gabe Hartman and I did a Western episode because we do movie things and obscure movies, and there's this great cowboy director named Burt Kennedy, and he also wrote really, really good 50s and 60s Westerns and stuff. James Garner movies and Randolph Scott.
How to support your local sheriff.
Yeah, that's one of the James Garner ones he did. Absolutely.
Yep. Nice.
So his last movie was Suburban Commando. And he also did like crime movies and comedies and other things too. And he really did a lot of TV movies in the 90s and 2000s. But yeah, his last movie release that killed his movie theatrical career was directing Suburban Commando. And our buddy Ian Brill, who used to be with IDW, he was one of the editors at IDW.
I know that name, yeah.
Yeah, great guy. And we're like, hey man, we're doing Burt Kennedy Westerns. And he goes, the only Burt Kennedy film I've ever seen is Suburban Commando.
Wow.
We're not, you can't come on and talk.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
We used to rent it when we were kids. Yeah.
Come on, man.
No, I never saw it.
So I think that must have been before his TV show Thunder in Paradise, of course.
Thunder in Paradise.
Yeah. With Jimmy the Mouth Hart.
Was that a TV show?
Oh yeah. It was a syndicated TV show. Yeah.
Was it like Baywatch or something?
Baywatch syndicated, yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Was that Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was on after Nitro sometimes.
Is that when he had no mustache or something?
I had never watched
he didn't,
it.
Yeah, sometimes he didn't have one. It would show up on. It would be on after WCW Nitro and TNT.
Oh,
like at 11 p.m.
That was during the 90s when they had all those like your guys' work on the infamous VIP comic book.
Yeah,
the
VIP.
Pamela Anderson TV show.
And I remember Renegade. That's what I used to watch. Renegade. Reigns.
Yeah.
Renegade.
Starring Lorenzo Lamas.
Yeah.
It's true. I love Lorenzo Lama. Good hair though.
Yeah,
Him and the Native American guy had the good hair too.
Yeah.
They both had there must have
Chicote.
I bet half the
Was
budget
that Chicote?
No, it wasn't Chicote. But I bet half the makeup budget went to hair conditioner with those two guys on the
right.
show. Gotta
Michael
keep
Two Youngman? Was that in Michael Two Youngman? Who was Michael Two Youngman?
I'm sure someone in the chat is going to tell us who.
Oh,
the
I know.
Native
It was
American
Shaman from Alpha Flight was Michael Two Youngman. I remember.
Oh,
that.
okay. Was he also? Right. He was in. I want to say, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I think he's the guy that wants to beat up. Jason Segel keeps throwing rolls of toilet paper, and he's like, "Oh, you're going to hit me with doo doo poo poo, poo poo paper, doo doo paper. You're going to hit me with doo doo paper."
That was funny. That was a good movie.
That is a good movie. I love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Man.
All right, I'm looking at the chat. If there's anything good there.
I went over to my dad's house today and he was watching Zorro on the Grit channel. And
which
Cesar
Zorro
Romero.
show? Which one?
The Guy Williams one. But
the best one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Cesar Romero was on it. And I'm like, hey, that's the Joker. Yeah.
Oh. That's a gay caballero. No pun intended.
Hello.
Exactly. I'm more interested in Don Diego than the fine senorita in front of me.
Please don't put on the mask right away.
You know that show. Whoever Disney licensed the Zorro thing from is like, hey, we need more money, and Disney's like, hey, how about I cancel your show instead? And it was huge, and it was only 2 seasons, but that is that's the best Zorro TV show, hands down. Great show.
And then somebody told me that Guy Williams would go to Spain, and he was a hero when you go to Spain.
Evita's country. South America, not Spain.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Brazil, maybe.
Argentina.
Oh, Argentina.
Because Juan Perón,
Don't cry for
the
me,
dictator.
Argentina.
Yeah, red carpet.
He was a big Zorro fan, and it's like, hey, you want to live, or either Argentina or Buenos Aires, where it's like, hey, you want to live down here rent free?
Yeah,
basically like just do Zorro appearances, and he's like, yeah, sounds good.
Yes,
they gave him a house, bought and paid for it. He lived there for the rest of his life. That's where he wound up dying. Yep.
Man, I would love to do that.
That's correct.
Find someone. Got to do something for a country.
Yeah.
B Things wants to know where the best place is for a Zorro novice to start. Well, the Mark of Zorro, of course,
on the Disney Channel
movie.
Antonio
and that show, that Guy Williams show, and it is
Disney movie. They have all the episodes on the Disney Channel.
Yep, for real.
The Fairbanks movies.
I know because my dad.
Those are silent though.
Yeah,
I mean they're great, but they are silent movies. So,
but I told you the connection to my great grandpa, right? That he used to live in California near Disney, and my grandpa was a tailor. My great grandpa. And he would make all the kids' outfits, and he made a Zorro outfit for one of my great uncle Jose. So he took them trick or treating, and they knocked on the Disney guy's door, and he followed him home, and he said, "Where'd you get those suits?" And he said, "My dad made them." So they commissioned my great grandpa to design the Zorro suit for Douglas Fairbanks. So it was pretty cool. Yeah. So his name's not credited, but that's his design. He made a Zorro suit for an adult, and then they made a suit for it. So
that's cool.
And that story's been passed on to me for years and years. My grandma told me that, so it was pretty cool. My grandma was like 6 years old when the movie came out, or something like that.
Wayne says the Republic cliffhangers of Zorro are good too, and I know Clayton Moore, the Lone Ranger, did a Ghost of Zorro movie before he was the Lone Ranger. And
really?
Man, I keep finding westerns and other. Even not like Commander Cody, the jetpack rocketman of the moon.
Yeah.
Clayton Moore is one of the bad guys in that serial as well. But cool. No, I keep finding great performances of Clayton Moore. He was great, man. He was excellent. But also, B Things says he doesn't mind silent movies. I do know the Tyrone or the Douglas Fairbank Mark of Zorro is on YouTube, but also they made a TV movie of the Mark of Zorro, the Tyrone Power movie, and in that Frank Langella played Zorro, and he's very good and you buy it. And the greatest actor that we talk about, the great Montalban, plays Commander Esteban, the Basil Rathbone part. Yeah, Don Diego, you confuse me.
Yeah. If one day we are dominated with creatures,
do you realize, Don Diego, that you are Zorro?
I don't watch silent movies because those are hard to understand when you're drawing.
Yeah.
Do you guys have the digital channel called Movies with the exclamation point?
No,
I don't know.
All right, we have it here in Chicago already. It's sometimes in between movies they show a TV show from the early 60s, and it was called Fractured Flickers, and it's made by the Bullwinkle people, and it's silent movies that they voice with their cartoon voices, and it's June Foray. You know, it's all the Rocky and Bullwinkle people, and it's very funny, and they make crazy dialogue for the silent movies and stuff. It's very, very funny.
Remember, there was a late night show like Thick of the Night. One of those shows would do that with their movies.
Yeah,
that was funny. We should bring back silent movies. You know,
remember a couple of years ago, Best Picture, The Artist.
Really? Because this way you go to the movie theater, people are talking. It's okay.
Why? Every movie on your TV could be a silent movie. Just turn off the volume.
That's true. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. That's very true.
I'm doing my silent movie imitation right now.
Don't you watch a whole bunch of silent movies with the sound off?
Only the ones with Salma Hayek in them.
I agree with Wayne also. He brought up the 80s Zorro TV show that I actually liked with Duncan Rager. Duncan Rager was on Deep Space Nine. He was Shakar, one of Kira's guys.
He did like a Dungeons and Dragons. He did a Dungeons and Dragons. I talked about this before on the pod. He did a Dungeons and Dragons type TV show, Wizards and Warriors or Towers and something or whatever.
Yeah, he was a good kind of leading man looking guy.
Randy, he had the chin.
Chins are good.
Randy Oakes was the blonde on Chips.
Sure.
The blonde on Wizards and something was Randy something, and she had like a
Randy Jackson.
The blonde on Chips.
No, Randy Jackson was from American Idol.
Yes, I knew that.
Yeah, the blonde girl on Chips was Randy Oakes.
There was a girl on there.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Yeah.
And also, the blonde that was in with Duncan Rager in that she was in the Steve Martin movie, The Man with Two Brains.
I love that movie.
She was right at the beginning.
Rika.
She's not the one that she's real hot, and then she talks. She's like, "Well, I don't know."
Yes, that was the one that was with Duncan.
I love her. She's hilarious in that movie.
I think her name is Randy or me. I don't know. I got to look it up now. It's going to drive me nuts.
I've seen her. Yeah, she's in a million things in the 80s. That's hilarious. Yeah. Wasn't Jeff Conway in a Dungeons and Dragons kind of show? The guy from
I think he might have been the same one.
Taxi. I remember that guy. Oh. I met him at a New York or Novi Con, Motor City Con, and that was when I was hanging out with Hogan.
Sure,
Michael Hogan, and it was Conway and Larry.
Wizards and Warriors. Jeff Conway was in Wizards and Warriors. Sorry, go ahead.
And he was sitting there with Larry from Three's Company, and the girls. All I heard him say is, "So you might have heard of me. I played Kanicki in Grease." And then Hogan said, "All right, Artie, let's go over here. Let's get away from that guy."
Yeah, this is Randy Brooks.
Yeah, that's her. Oh yeah,
and she was in that TV show with Jeff Conway.
Lovely woman.
My Jeff Conway story. I met him, and I asked if I could take a picture, and he said, "Yeah, but no flash." And then I said, "Okay." And then I went to go take the picture, and he put on his sunglasses. And then he's like, "Yeah, no pictures." Oh, okay, thanks, buddy.
I heard Bruce Boxleitner from Babylon 5 make fun of Jeff Conway at cons, and he said, "Oh yeah," he goes, "Yeah, forget about Babylon 5 and Taxi and stuff." He goes, as far as all the girls are concerned, hey, it's Kanicki from Grease and everything.
Yeah.
They're all excited,
Was he in Babylon 5 too?
Oh yeah, he was. He was good at Babylon 5. Yeah.
Wow, I missed a lot of stuff.
Babylon 5, especially the first season, it's hard to get into because Michael O'Hare, the original captain, was a little stiff and a little not funny. But once Bruce Boxleitner comes on from Scarecrow and Mrs. King and a million other things, he's great. And the show really, that's when the show really took off, and it was quite a good show.
Scarecrow and Mrs. King.
Remember that show? Was it Scarecrow and Mrs. King? That was with Charlie's Angels lady, right?
Yeah, Kate Jackson.
Kate Jackson.
Remember there was a show with the lady who's Seymour, Jane Seymour, is it? Yeah, she's a real pretty lady who was she was also in Battlestar Galactica.
Touched by an Angel?
Yeah, maybe that one where she was she was
Dr.
Quinn.
Dr. Quinn, medicine woman.
Yeah, that one.
Dr. Quinn, medicine woman.
Where she was in that show, and there was a real handsome guy in there, like a Fabio looking guy, long hair.
Yeah, he was the outdoors. He was the woodsy guy.
Yeah, his name was Sully or something. I forgot it. I never saw the show.
I never watched it.
I never saw the show, but somehow I got a stand-up cardboard guy of that guy. I had a stand-up, a life-size stand-up, and so, I even forgot where I got it. But I put it in the back of my van. I had a 4x4 Bronco, and I had him in the side window facing out. And every morning, my boss would come over. I was working in a warehouse. He'd come yell at me, "Would you take Sully out of your window?" I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" And he'd yell, walk away. And I'm like, "What's he talking about?" And then I found out that guy's name was Sully, and I was scaring my boss every day when he go to work. He would look at my car. Oh my God! So I had to eventually take him out because my boss was yelling at me every morning.
There's a clip if you look. It's pretty funny. Jimmy Kimmel, he had like a wax figure of himself. Like
or
something like that, and he puts it in his office, like in front of the elevator. He changes around. People walk in, go, "Oh my God!"
Yeah,
because he's just standing there. Yeah.
That's what Sully was doing to people in the parking lot. And I wish I still had that. I used to have that, and I used to have the Alex Ross Superman one stand up.
Sure.
And I used to scare myself with that. It was in my apartment, and when I would draw, I would see the way his hand was, his fist. It was so realistic that when I look over, I see the fist behind me. Oh my God. And then for a while I had Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill was in my apartment. And when you come home from the apartment and the lights are off, but window light is up, you see just the shadows of these guys. And I had to get rid of those. They were scaring me every day.
James Bunt is right. Roma Downey, of course, was touched by an angel. She's like the Skeet Ulrich to Jane Seymour's Johnny Depp. You know what I mean? Like Roma Downey, kind of from the right angle. It's kind of like, oh, is that James Seymour? No, it's Roma Downey.
I never watched the show. I never watched the show, but wasn't it Della Reese was her co-star?
Yes, she was. Yeah, absolutely. James actually has her down there as well. Yeah, absolutely. Della Reese was on the later seasons of Chico and the Man after Freddie Prinze killed himself.
Really? She was on there? She replaced him?
Well, they had a little kid as a new Chico.
Oh,
a young Latin gentleman, but yeah. All right, Carrie's got a hold on. She's got a paragraph here. I used to live in an old loft that was an industrial space that had been filled with past relics of old residents for decades. One worked at a movie theater, and we had a room full of cardboard movie people. We'd set them up around corners in the dark areas to scare
Oh my God, yeah. I'd rather see a ghost. That's hard to see those cardboards, man.
All right, who of us, and I have, but who of us also has been inside wax museums?
Oh yeah, I have. Yeah,
I don't know if I have.
I know I was in L.A. When I was a little kid, and I remember seeing like a wax figure of John Wayne. Pilgrim.
We spawn. Yeah,
we spawn.
I was in bad wax museums. They're not quite look like them. I remember Fonzie.
I seen on an old episode of John Oliver's show last week tonight. They had some really bad wax museum.
Yeah.
It's like that really doesn't look like Bill Clinton, but okay, whatever.
Yeah, my celebs were probably Fonzie was there, Dolly Parton was there, John Travolta. Probably when I was a kid, I didn't like going through it.
Franco, is there still a Madame Tussauds in New York or no?
Yep, Times Square.
There you go.
Yeah,
I thought so.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I remember that Get Smart episode where they were in the wax museum, and they had a Frankenstein and a Wolfman and a Dracula, and they would come to life and stuff and scare 99 and Max.
Wolfman Jack. Yeah.
All right, babies. I love Wolfman Jack. I was a big fan.
Hey, all you cool cats out there.
when he hosts the midnight special. Ladies and gentlemen, Steely Dan.
Yeah, it would have been cool to hear him interview Hulk Hogan. How you doing, Hulkster? What's up, brother? Go back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, and RFK could do the play-by-play and have all three of them in search of a throat losage. Yes.
Is RFK grumpy like that too?
No, but he's got the voice.
He's got the.
How you doing, brother? I'm fine. How are you?
The worm says hello.
That's why we talk like this, because there's fluoride in our water.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great idea. Can't wait. Can't wait to have all my teeth fall out because they're going to get rid of the fluoride in the water.
They are taking it out.
Well, I don't know if we'll get there, but he's certainly been an advocate of taking the fluoride out of the water.
But is it in there now?
Yeah.
Just to make it fresh, keep it clean. I don't know.
Well, it was to promote dental hygiene. Although there are truly some doctors that say too much fluoride for children would not be good because it hurts them mentally in their development years. But it's like. Yeah, but it's like literally like, are you going to doubt like a gallon of fluoride? It's like, the amount is so minuscule.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
we're all going to have British teeth. Hello.
That SNL sketch, the British toothpaste. You ever see that?
Yes, and also the when Lisa needs braces, and to scare her in needing braces, they show her the big book of British teeth.
Yeah.
And even King Charles is in there with his crooked teeth and everything. It's like,
don't they make her go talk to Bleeding Gums, the saxophone player?
Bleeding Gums Murphy. Yeah.
Bleeding Gums.
No, but it's a recreation of the Nicholson scene in the '89 Batman movie.
Oh.
Mirror.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
She gets
starts
braces,
laughing.
right?
She's got the night brace on.
Yeah. You could see what I have to work with, Mr. Napier. They said I never made the connection before, but I just heard that what's the director? Burton named him Jack Napier after Alan Napier from the original Batman series. Napier, he used the last name.
I liked Alfred's green apron that he would wear when he was cleaning the Batcave, and it looks like he's working for Starbucks. And every now and then I'll do a screen cap of Alfred and go, and like especially with Alfred on the phone with the green apron on. And it's like, he's calling the home office of Starbucks because they're out of nutmeg in the Batcave.
We need more beans.
We need more nutcaves, sir.
Hello, sir. Mm-hmm. I remember seeing a clip, and it said when they brought Batgirl and she was still sleeping, and Alfred said, "Oh, I better go upstairs before she recognizes me." It's kind of fun. I forgot about that.
Well, I think you're gonna do it when she's sitting in the middle between Robin and Batman, and Robin goes, "Gosh, Batman, looking at Batgirl when she's pretty or when she's asleep, she's real pretty." Oh, you're becoming a young man, Robin.
Yeah.
They both had thoughts, and they're like, "We better not. We're superheroes. We're good guys."
Exactly.
Gosh, Batman.
James Bunt says he would recommend Della Reese's A-Team episode. She's an old lady being assaulted, and she warns them that they will regret it when she tells her son cut to Mr. T. I guess she was Mr. T's mom.
Oh, Della Reese.
Yeah.
Who shot? Oh, you're going to shoot off my pinky toe from Harlem Nights. When she's the old lady prostitute and everything.
Oh, I was thinking she's from that Designing Women. Who's that one?
That's
Della Reese.
That's Delta Burke.
Delta Burke. Okay, that's what I thought we were talking about. So who did she replace? Chico and the Man? She replaced Chico.
She was just a neighbor on Chico and the Man, and because after Freddie Prinze died, they needed more adults to carry the comedy.
I know Della Reese.
So she was on there, and she also had a talk show when I was a really little kid. Because she's a great singer, Della Reese, back in the day.
I just watched an episode. I don't know where or when of A-Team, and every person that shot a gun didn't hit anybody.
Right.
And then there was they captured the entire A-Team, and they were going to deliver them to the military guys. So they put them on a boat, and they're like, "All right, we're going to go here, and you go deliver them to the military guys." But they only left one guy driving the boat, and the other 4 A-Team members are just like tied up like at the. I'm like, what are you doing? Like they're going to get out of this. It's ridiculous.
Throw them in the water now. Yeah.
Do you remember whenever like a van would roll over, they would always show whoever was in the van, like if they were bad guys in a van,
getting
rolled
out
over. They'd always show them get out, so you saw that nobody really got hurt, really bad. That, and also it's funny. I was checking in with Chucky today. Say it,
Jughead.
But he's like, yeah, you know what I've because I told him about. I'm like, dude, I have no idea why, but I'm watching Jag like I've never watched it before. And he goes, oh, you know what show I'm rewatching is the A-Team.
Oh, cool.
Good for you, Chucky. Fantastic. All right, stand back, everybody, both for the audio and video. Here comes the nose blow. Oh, I got the silencer up my nose. I guess it's not as bad as I was expecting.
Did you get that worm out of there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the worm ate the
nose
passage.
He's hanging out with his teeth. He's got fluoride.
Yep. Johnny had to interrupt the fun, but I see. Well, yes, Mario. Mario wants to know if the book club that starts next Sunday a recurring thing. It's going to be a recurring thing. Yes, it will.
Is that how you spell recurring? Like
probably not, but that's all right.
Are we joining a book club? What's that happening?
Yeah, I said at the beginning of the show we're going to do. Me and Bendis are doing a book club between his Discord group and my patrons, and we're going to for the first book we're going to do Brubaker's Criminal.
Hello.
Totally missed that, but cool.
Yeah, I heard that.
Because Franco doesn't pay attention when I talk.
Yeah. I have some news regarding books.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Up for pre-sale today is my book coming out in November, The Adventures of Chase Speedington, coming out from Paper Cuts. So it's available for pre-order today. Go and pre-order now.
Very nice. Congratulations. Yeah, who's publishing that for you?
That would be Paper Cuts. And then in February, Scooty Pie and I have Ninja Kaiju coming out in November.
Wow.
In February.
Kaiju, Ninja Kaiju.
It's action-packed.
Full of ninja goodness.
And a lot of food.
Really? A lot of food references?
A lot of food in it. Yeah, does he get his beef baptized? Yeah.
Tyler is correct. He heard Criminal is being made into a TV show. Yeah, for Amazon. And last summer, Brubaker was in Portland where they were filming it and staying at Bendis's house. And all of Bendis's kids got to go visit the set as they were making this and everything. And Pete Beiser, how you doing, Pete? Saw a new Criminal book is coming out soon, the first one in many years. Excited. Yeah, that's Brubaker and Sean Phillips. They have Sleeper and other great collaborations over the years. That's cool. There you go. So yeah, and Rudy just read Criminal. He can't wait for the show. Yeah, Rudy, you're invited. Absolutely. All my paid subscribers of Patreon and Dennis's paid subscribers of Discord. Not only we're going to do it live, and people can watch, but if you actually want to be on camera or participate in the chat, that's the only caveat. It's like, no, you got to be a paid subscriber.
Yeah. It's exclusive content you're making, Johnny.
It's true. Kind of.
Yeah, I keep losing subscribers on Patreon. And it's if I post, I lose like 2 guys. I
don't think I posted in forever.
Scootin' Franco, is the Kaiju a ninja SB things?
It's a ninja that turns into a kaiju. It's ridiculous.
Don't spoil it, Franco.
Oh, sorry.
It's in the name, Ninja Kaiju.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other ninjas in it too, and a lot of other monsters too. Yeah.
Oh, I'm writing stories right now on ninjas too.
Uh-oh.
Well, monkey ninjas.
I remember them.
Yeah, they're coming back. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I just can't tell you the guys' details, but man, I'm excited.
Yeah, Ninja Kaiju is not up for pre-orders yet, but you can order The Adventures of Chase Speedington. Yes, you can.
Wasn't the fine 70s and 80s actor Franco Nero in Enter the Ninja?
Enter the Dragon.
No, he wasn't in Enter the Dragon. That's Bruce Lee. But he wasn't in that. But Franco
Leroy.
He's Lancelot in the Camelot movie. And he made a bunch of spaghetti westerns in the 70s.
Who's the guy? There's the when they go to the island, and they're all doing there's the white guy and the black guy.
Yeah, the white guy's John Saxon.
I love. I love that guy.
Yeah,
he was on the $6 Million Man when his face came off and stuff.
Yes,
right?
Master Tron. Yeah, the robot.
Okay.
And all the gears and stuff inside his face. Very disturbing.
I always get Franco Nero and that guy confused for some reason, and I don't know why. But
yeah, they're very different people. But all right.
Yeah,
I don't know who. My brain
swaps them all the time.
Somebody somebody when we showed our Burt Kennedy episode, the director of Suburban Commando last week, is like, hey, for your next we call it scene missing when we do our movie things. And I got like the card you used to see when a missing part of a footage, scene missing. But someone's like, hey, you ought to do Burl Ives next. And we're like, the snowman from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. And it's like, well, he's had an interesting film career, but he did a TV show in the early 70s called The Bold Ones, and he and John Saxon were co-stars in that show.
Oh, yeah.
Be bolder.
But I'm a big John Saxon fan.
John Saxon also kind of sort of looks like Joe Penny from Jake and the Fat Man.
Yes.
And Riptide.
With less hair. He had kind of receding hairline.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But he was John Saxon. Frankly, remember those two Gene Roddenberry pilots that were TV movies that never went to series? And it was about like a 20th century man that was frozen, and then they thaw him out 400 years later, and it's post-apocalyptic Earth,
like Captain America.
Yeah, but
like
post-apocalyptic Earth, so unlike Captain America. But it was like Earth. Called? It's like Earth 2 or something like that. But one of them was John Saxon as the guy. He would have been the star of the show.
That sounds cool.
But it didn't make it.
What was the
Genesis
name of that
2.
One?
Very good, Wayne.
Genesis 2.
That's yes.
Did they make a pilot
not to be
movie?
Confused with Phil Collins in Genesis. So yes.
Yeah, I can hear it coming in. Oh, sorry.
I gotta watch Genesis 2. That sounds pretty good.
Genesis is Planet Forbidden. Star Trek 3.
You sound like the old guy from Christmas Vacation. They want you to say grace. That guy. Where his light his toupee on fire.
Another horrible TV show that, like when we were talking about Thunder in Paradise and stuff, this show literally only lasted 3 episodes, and it was called Struck by Lightning.
Yeah.
And it's Jack Elam, and Jack Elam was the character actor who had the really like crazy eye.
Yeah,
he's got crazy eyes.
They don't. Yeah, look at them. And it's like it was in this. It was like 1979. But it was such a like Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie 60s premise and it kind of is like Young Frankenstein, but like 5 years later, where Dr. Stein inherits his grandfather's New England bed and breakfast. And it turns out he was a descendant of Dr. Frankenstein. Oh. And Jack Elam is the monster, and he's the caretaker of the place. And Jack Elam was so crazy looking, they didn't need makeup. It's just big Jack Elam. And every now and then on the show, he would get struck by lightning, and his back would be all burnt and smoke coming from his back. But
I actually remember this. Yeah,
it's because it only was on for 3 episodes.
Yeah,
and they canceled it right away. But the first episode is on YouTube, and I watched it. And my friend is a big like bad show. Like, oh my god, do you remember this? Like, remember Lidsville, of course, with your guy's friend Butch Patrick, of course. Mm-hmm. He loves that show. But yeah, Jack Elam, horrible. And yes, exactly, Rudy. Jack Elam was also the doctor in Cannonball Run.
And he was also in those Support Your Local Sheriff movies with Jeff Garner.
Yes, he was.
James Garner. Yeah.
James Garner. Yep. Yeah, they're funny. They're good for what they are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or Dr. Stein's older brother.
By the way, Tyler wants to know what we think of the new Image Transformer comics.
Oh, I read the first ones.
Oh, the Skybound ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read them.
I haven't read them.
Void Rivals. Yeah, I read the first 2 issues maybe. So I'm a year behind, but they were cool. And my guy Joe just handed them to me. He's just take this home. Don't look through it. Just read it.
Cool.
And I liked it. Yeah, and I didn't know it was a Transformer book because it has aliens or they're like astronauts in it first. But I don't know where it goes. But I know where it goes. Where the story goes. But I see the covers with Optimus Prime and stuff. Yeah, they're cool, man. They sell really well.
Didn't a friend of ours did the free comic book day one where he introduced a brand new Transformer?
Yeah,
Smitty.
He's got 3
Brian
names. Oh, Smitty did it?
Smitty, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I know we got a guy with 3 names. I can't remember his names now.
Comment from Jake Artie. I can't stick around. Just wanted to shout out Art for his strip called Gorilla.
Yeah.
From the old Disney Adventure magazine. I loved reading those collections on the floor in Borders as a kid.
Oh man, thanks, Jake Murphy.
Oh,
yeah, man. He must have been about 6 years old.
It's a good thing Johnny wasn't in your town, because then if he would have been walking through Borders, he would have yelled at you and said, "This isn't a library."
It's not a library. Yeah.
No.
But
They
yeah,
yelled
man,
at
thanks.
me.
And it's cool. I'm meeting a lot of those. I'm meeting a lot of the kids grown up who read Gorilla, and it's a really different experience meeting Gorilla fans than it is anyone else, because a lot of times people, when they meet me, they start crying when I'm in person because of the book, the comic.
Well, that has nothing to do with the book. That's just
it's just meeting me. Yeah, because they tremble in fear. But it's real cool, man. Thanks, Jake. You're awesome, and hopefully I get to work with them again in the future. We'll see how the cards play out.
Mario says the Black Label DC book Superman Last Days of Lex Luthor was really good. I can attest to that. And I had our friend Mark Wade and the artist friend of ours, Brian Hitch, talking about those books. Yeah, those are great story. Great fucking story. Pardon my F, Bob.
I have I have the first book here. I got to read.
It's Artie, and it only gets better because truly, like, I don't even want to spoil, but there's a lot of guest stars that show up because the whole story is Lex is dying and Superman is trying to find a cure.
Oh, cool.
Man, why?
It's really, really. Well, I know and that's kind of what Lois says.
It's kind of like All-Star Superman.
Die. Let them die.
Yeah, it's kind of like All-Star Superman, but different, like opposite.
And that reminds me, I was in a Barnes and Noble because, as I showed you guys on Memorial Day, I had dinner with Gigantic Jeff.
Oh yeah. Hey, Artie. Hey, hi, Artie.
And after we said goodbye, I'm like, I'm still here, and I really didn't get a lot of steps in. Let me walk around a bookstore and get shushed by a lady, like Franco was saying earlier.
Yeah,
that was our experience at Barnes and Noble.
But
I saw on the Rare magazine rack, they had a $15, square bound magazine of Superman. And it had All-Star Superman, Superman for All Seasons.
Nice.
And one chapter of Azzarello and Lee Bermejo's Lex Luthor Man of Steel story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And obviously with the movie coming out, I understand. But it was only $15. And I'm like, that's a pretty good deal for two graphic novels and an extra chapter.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I was impressed.
I like it. It was good.
I like the part where I read Superman on the magazine rack.
Lex Luthor, he's cool. I like him.
I got a new heavy metal #1. Because they've once again changed their publisher hands.
Oh wow!
Oh wow! They're putting out again. That's cool.
Yeah, well, that's good. It's a good, good, solid title.
Did they have the naked blue guy in there? Didn't they have a naked blue guy, or was he purple?
They had naked everybody.
That was Den, right?
Den. He's related to Dr. Manhattan, isn't he? They both wear the same stuff.
Probably an inspiration for Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I don't think they were related because Den had a much bigger schlongy thingy than
they were swinging
Dr.
around.
Manhattan. Yeah,
I remember.
I love the heavy metal movie, and it's John Candy as Den. Normally, I'd be dead by now.
Was it John Candy?
Because and it's great because like his inner monologue, he's still a scrawny little kid.
Yeah,
and then but he talks. I too am from Earth, and he keeps scoring with all the hot naked chicks. This is great. 2 naked girls in a row.
Yeah, I am purple as well. I used to be pink. Now I'm purple.
Satisfy my appetite. The evil queen. This is great.
Man, I haven't seen that since like
that's a
18
great.
years
Did
old.
you see it in the theater already?
No, I missed it. I was too young.
Yeah, I understand.
I think it was rated R, right?
I saw
it was rated R. We got in. I was like 15 or 16. We got in.
No, I probably saw it on TV maybe. Remember On TV?
Oh, sure.
I probably saw it around that time.
Come on. You can almost make out a boob if you tune it in right.
You get 1 second of clear. Wow. And it goes back. What did I heard? I heard somewhere that somebody would make pranks and rent movies and just record the last minute of the movie. They would record HBO or they record that on a movie. I forgot who I heard that from. That was pretty funny.
On TV, that was early pay-per-view.
Yeah, my dad would make the on TV boxes, and he figured out he took a box and took the bits and the guts and figured it out. It was real basic, and so we always had an on TV box on our fridge or on our TV on our fridge. Yeah, our fridge played movies, but we had on our TV. But anyone who came over says, "Where'd you get that?" "Oh, I made it. Can I buy this one?" And so one day we'd have it, one day it was gone. So I would want to watch Smokey and the Bandit, and I sit down and watch it. And where's the box? I'm like, oh, Dad has to make a new one. So he would make a new one every other day, and then someone would come over and buy it. So we never had movies for the weekend because someone would come over like, "Oh man, Dad, can you make one for us?" And I remember he used to use speaker boxes, like a speaker, like for a stereo. So the box on our fridge, our box on our TV was real big, and it had a button. It just had a button, an on-off switch, and a button. But that was real cool. But we had it sometimes.
When the first Star Trek movie was on TV, and my buddy Cam, his family had on TV. That, and also when Larry Holmes fought Jerry Cooney, Artie, back in '82.
Yeah,
that fight was on TV, and also the Rolling Stone concert.
Yep,
when Tattoo You.
Yep,
that tour, and that's the first time I ever saw George Thorogood.
Oh yeah,
he opened for the Stones. Yeah,
all my friends came over to watch the Stones concert, and he had the football pants on and purple shirt and stuff. Yeah, it was cool. And then a year later, they put the Who on there. The Who. That's
I didn't remember that. That's cool.
Yeah, the first time I ever heard the Who. I never heard I didn't know who they were. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I
my
saw
friends
that live at Rosemont at the Horizon.
Oh, cool. I know that one time my mom had all her sisters, my aunts coming over to watch Urban Cowboy. And right before Urban Cowboy came on, it got scrambled. So they were figuring out that they're going to get rid of all these bootleg boxes. And so we had a whole house of people, and then John Travolta, suddenly you couldn't watch him. He was like that porn. Like he was like, oh. So I had to fool with the antenna. It's almost there. So we wound up watching them with black and white and fuzz. I don't know. I just remember that.
What was everybody's first rock concert in person?
Oh,
mine was Jethro Tull.
Really?
1978.
Mine was Lionel Richie.
Truly, oh wow! Truly.
I think mine was like Real Big Fish or something in 1998 when I was in high school.
I don't know.
Mine was in college. Mine was in college, and it was a Power Windows tour from Rush.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Because I didn't know about Rush or anything, and someone's like, "Hey, we got an extra ticket. You want to go see Rush?" I'm like, "I'll go." Mm-hmm. Then I sat there and I'm like, "What the hell? This is awesome!" Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Lionel Richie because he first concert, and he looked like the way he looks, and that's what I was so like. That's him. That's what he looks like.
Really,
that's him from the videos. Like
that's John Ford.
Yeah, that's Lionel Richie, and he came out and he played on a white piano. He had wore a white suit and a white piano. And I was like, that's him. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
God, that album, Can't Slow Me Down, I believe was the name of that. With Dancing on the Ceiling and everything. Yeah, we played my college roommate played the shit out of that when we were kids.
All night long, he played that.
All night.
Mm-hmm.
I like Hello. Wow, B Thing's first concert was Billy Joel in 2019. How old are we all? Jesus.
Oh, I feel bad for Billy Joel. He had to cancel all his.
Yeah, he's sick now.
Concerts. Yeah,
I saw Billy Joel 3 times, like twice when I was in high school. The new songs were, of course, like Uptown Girl were the new ones. And yeah, he was cool. He had all black, but he had red socks, black tie, black shirt, black coat, black shoes, and red socks. I remember that. That's like, man, that guy's cool. And people always tell me.
Go ahead, Artie.
I said people always tell me that my dad looks like him growing up because my dad had hair like that. So they always said my dad looked like Billy Joel. So
mentioning Ian Anderson, I was talking last night with the old DC editor, Bob Schreck.
Yeah.
Track, yeah.
Great conversation. I've wanted to talk to him literally as long as I've been doing Word Balloon.
Nice.
And Allison Baker hooked me up with him. But like Matt Wagner's his best friend, and he used to be married to Diana Schutz, and I've had them on many times over the years. So it was great to finally get Bob. But Bob was telling me before he got into comics, he was in a Jethro Tull tribute band in the late 70s and early 80s. And he said, because I could always do a really good Ian Anderson imitation.
Nice.
Thick as a brick. The reason why I went was, and I got to be honest, other than Thick as a Brick and Bungle in the Jungle, was not a big Jethro Tull fan. I'll admit it. Living in the Past, but those 3 songs. But my stepbrother, who was 7 years older than me, his date fell through, and he didn't want to eat the ticket. And he's like, "Come on, man, please."
Come on,
I
let's
was
go.
like 78, so I was like,
just for toll, man.
15 or 6, and he's like, "Come on, man." And I'm like, "All right, fine."
All right.
Or no, I was 13. I was 12 or 13. Yeah,
Free
I'm
music.
bad with math. And I'm like, "Yeah, all right, fine." But yeah, I was at the old stadium, Artie, the Madhouse on Madison.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Superman the movie was in theaters. That's what was happening. 78.
Well, all right. I remember seeing that in December of 78 or 9, and it was winter, and I rode my bicycle to the movie theater.
Oh, cool.
And I saw it by myself, and it was
wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, my dad took me and all my cousins. We all loaded up in the car and went.
That's Glenn Ford.
That's Glenn Ford. I'm like, what? Yeah, that's Glenn Ford. Well, what? Yeah. Who? I don't know who Glenn Ford was.
Come on, classic.
Yeah,
Scoot, I don't know if you saw, but Kari said you got to stop talking over everybody. It's getting annoying.
Yeah. Trying to get work done. But I feel like I'm listening to the pod.
It's true.
Yeah, that's good.
Just chime in. That's why I'm the best in the business.
It's true. Rudy,
like that stuff he got back there too.
Rudy must have watched last night. He said Shrek was great. He couldn't wait to tell all the stories. Yeah, he had a million. Because he even goes back to Kimiko, and he and Joe Naziak or whatever his name is, created Oni, and he was at Dark Horse really in the early days of Dark Horse and stuff. Well, all that stuff before DC.
Is he from Chicago, Shrek?
No. I think he's East Coast or wherever.
Okay,
but
I know Kimiko was Chicago.
Kimiko. Oh, I didn't. Were they really? I guess they were, because I know Azarello worked for him too.
Yeah, because when I went there to interview, and Azarello interviewed me. He checked out my portfolio. Yeah, I remember him, but I didn't know who he was then. But then as I saw him again at a convention, I was like, hey, that's that guy who interviewed me. And I'm like, hey, that guy who interviewed me is working for DC.
When did you start drawing him with no pants?
Oh, right when I got to know him. Nobody's invulnerable to me.
Well, the great thing, he's got that great junkyard dog kind of attitude. But then Artie shows some drawings of him with no pants, and immediately the defenses just drop, and he's like, all right.
Yeah, I know me and Azarello, like last year, the year before at C2E2 setup day, everyone's talking, and he comes up to me, and we just start talking. And my guy Joe from Skokie Joe, he was in the background, and he's freaking out, and he's taking pictures. And then after Azarello left, he goes, wow, that was epic. That was cool. You were just talking to Azarello. He goes, what were you guys talking about? I said, I was asking him how he gets his beard so soft. He's like, really? He said, we're talking about beard creams and stuff. How often do you shave and stuff like that? Really? Nothing like, you weren't talking about Batman? I'm like, nah, man. I said, I never ask creators what they're doing. I always ask them something different. And I said, that's why they come talk to me. And he's like, wow, that's weird. I'm like, yeah.
I didn't tell the C2E2 story that I had where I was at the Hyatt that you guys weren't there for, but Azarello and Stephanie were there for. Oh, cool. Where it was Saturday night. I was going to have dinner with Dan Parent of Archie, Tom King, Mitch Gerrits, Chucky, and my buddy who had just done a recent signing at in Harrison, Ryan Dunleavy.
Oh, yeah, I know him.
So we were all going to Miller's.
Nice.
And, but I told you guys, soup. My legs were killing me, man. I'm finally going to get a doctor to hopefully fix them and everything. But yeah, it's really, really bad. So, we go and it's 6, the show floor closes at 7. But I'm like, all right, Chucky, I can't take it anymore. I go, let's camp out at the Hyatt. We'll wait for everybody and then we'll go to Miller's. Okay, fine. So we go over there. Of course, already it's packed with people.
Yeah.
And there was a guy sitting by himself at a table for 4. And he's done with his food. He's done with his drink. He's just texting on his phone. And he's this little twerpy guy. And I'm like, hey, listen, we're gonna camp out, if it's okay, and wait for our friends over here. And he's like, no, it's not okay. And it's like, well, you're done or whatever. He's like, well, no, I'm sitting here. It's my table. And I'm like, all right, my legs are tired. So I got on the opposite side of him. And I just bent over and just started texting and ignoring him. And he's like, get away from my table. And he's screaming at me. And he's like, will somebody please remove this person from my table? And again, I'm just ignoring him. And then he says 2 things to me. And he goes, I ran for Congress. And I'm like,
did you win?
And I give him this confused look. And I go back and and then he goes, I know the president. And I'm like, and again, I'm texting. And finally he gets disgusted with me. F you, I'm leaving. F you. And I said, good, get the hell away from me. And I'm screaming back at him. And I look over my shoulder, and there's Stephanie Phillips and Brian Azzarello, and they're like,
they're in shock. I voted for that guy.
I know the president. Get the F out of here.
Yeah, I know who he is too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Franco, the Knicks won.
And then Artie Franco would walk by, and I'm like, guys, you got to hear what happened.
You got to hear it. I just got yelled at by a congressman.
And as the guy's yelling at me, Chucky is like, at this point, 10 feet away, just backing up. Like, hey, dude. All right. I don't want any trouble.
Hey, dude, he could arrest you, I'm sure he has protection.
It could get pretty bad. There was
not dinner.
My wife and I, we were in the mall, and we were not arguing, but we were in a heated conversation. And, so my spider senses were tingling and stuff. And you know those people in the middle of with those kiosks, like, excuse me, sir, trying to sell you something. There was a guy there, and he goes, can I ask you a question? And I was talking to my wife, and I said, you just did. And then I went back to the conversation with my wife, and he's like, well, you don't have to be a bleep, bleep, bleep about it. And my wife's eyes went, whoop. Uh-oh. And I turned around, and she kept going because she knew exactly what was going to happen. And I was like, ooh, the black. Like, there was a big crowd and everything. And then I finally finished, and I calmed down, and I look around, and I couldn't find my wife. She went to another store. She was like, I'm not dealing. She goes, I know what's coming right now. I'm not dealing with this.
Wow. Did I tell you guys what happened with my Crybaby adventures?
I feel you, Johnny. I know what that was like. Go ahead.
We were at my first show at the Chicago Comic-Con tables. I got my own table with the Crybaby Adventures, and I had made these big costume heads for Raisky and my buddy Jurassic Ernie. They were both dressed like they were Jurassic Ernie's dressed like Slip Dooger, and Raisky was dressed like Kraisky. But they had these big paper mache heads. They're walking around passing out my flyers and stuff. And there was this little kid kept bothering Raisky, and he kept hitting him in the head with the roll of paper. He kept following him, hitting him in the head. So Raisky, I saw it happen. Raisky turned around, grabbed the kid by the neck, and body slammed him. Bam! And got on him. He got on him, and he started choking the kid. And then everyone surrounded. And then Raisky's like, uh-oh. And then he let go of the kid, and then gave papers to all the guys who were watching him choke this kid. And he was so cool because he just got up and walked away, and the kid was like, what the? He just got choked by a giant Crybaby. I thought that was cool.
That could have been the end of the Crybabies.
It almost was. Raisky caught himself, but that was so cool. And he grabbed the guy, doesn't grab the neck. He grabs this, like grabs that part. Like, oh, and he slammed the kid on his back. The kid was probably about 12, 13. But it turns out later that kid was the grandson of the guy who created the Green Lantern.
Martin Nordell.
Martin Nordell. Because the kid started hanging out with me later. And he said, remember me? I'm like, no. And he goes, I'm the guy who got choked by your Crybaby character. I'm like, really? You're that kid? And he goes, yeah. I said, you shouldn't have hit my guy in the head with that paper. And he's like, yeah, I know. And then I found out that was Martin Nordell's grandson.
My grandfather created the Green Lantern.
Yeah. And that kid ran for Congress and was eating in that restaurant.
He's like, hey, man, you know who my grandfather is? But the Crybaby almost ended the Martin Nordell bloodline. I don't know. I thought that was Game of Thrones, man. He would have been done. Yeah.
All right. Hey, hockey update for those who give a shit.
Yeah, let's go. Hockey.
Wayne says, woohoo, the Oilers are going to the Cup. Elbows up as the boys bring it home. And nobody gives a shit, Mario, but the Stars lost. Bummer. And Wayne says, Scoot, the Oilers won.
I told Wayne I'll root for the Canadian teams if they get in because they haven't won the Stanley Cup in years.
Sure.
Edmonton Oilers, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
So I was thinking Houston, but that's football.
Yeah.
That's not even, they don't even exist anymore, the Houston Oilers.
Yeah. And they don't play hockey either.
And then I told Franco earlier, his New York Knicks, that he's a diehard Knicks fan. They won today.
Yeah.
They're losing. They're losing in the series 3-2, Franco. One game away.
They're coming back. Me and Timothy Chalamet, man. We're rooting for the Knicks.
Yeah. I remember I was at I go to Hooters, sit there, get my wings, and
Now we know.
I'm sitting there. I'm
Hence
sitting
your
there.
name drop at Hooters.
Yeah,
Look
I'm
at you.
sitting there. I'm sitting there at the bar, and all the games are on. And there was the Knicks game was on. I think they were playing Detroit Pistons, and it was everyone's looking at this one screen, but this one guy was on the edge, and he kept asking the waitress, "Can you put it on here? Can you put it on here?" And I'm like, just move here. Like, look. And then there was only 0.5 seconds and he was getting mad. And then I actually told him, dude, there's a seat. And he goes, right. So he went, the moment he went to the seat, bing, game's over. So I thought we'll edit that out. That wasn't fun.
Yeah, I'm going to edit that.
Is Hooters the restaurant, Johnny, where you said that's not dinner? Was that Hooters?
No, it was, but it's
Twisted
like
Kilt.
Hooters. It was the Twisted Kilt.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
the kilt. Yeah, I couldn't remember.
And yeah, I went to the woman Mater D, who's in her halter top, showing the goods, and her short plaid skirt. And I'm like, "Are you serving dinner?" And she's like, "Yes." Well, no, we only have appetizers that you can microwave and stuff. And I'm like, "Well, that's not dinner." And it wasn't dinner.
It's not dinner.
It was after Artie and I went to the early screening of the preview screening for the Avengers movie.
Yeah, that's right. I was trying to remember the
We're
movie.
downtown. Yeah.
The original Avengers?
Yeah.
The first one. Yeah.
Yeah, the first movie.
You gonna see Superman on an opening weekend?
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah,
Oliver wants to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
We should pod afterwards.
Yeah.
Man,
Sure.
that stupid trailer made me cry, man. Cut it out, Scoot. Cut it out.
That's the podcast. The podcast. No, don't save me, because it makes no sense if you don't save me, and it's going to be sad. But all Superman fans are going to do are scream about it for 12 damn years since the movie. Dumbass.
Man, I showed that trailer to my wife, and I got teary eyed, and she's like,
Yeah, it
"What's
was
the
good."
matter?" And I'm like, people were dying when he yells that in the trailer. I'm like, "Oh my God, that's Superman!" I got so emotional.
She
like,
said,
"Damn."
"Did you have permission?" No, I don't need it. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, but like people are like, "Why is Lois being tough on him?" I'm like, she's not mad at him. She's being a devil's advocate, because these are the questions he's going to get when he's interviewed by somebody else.
That's because we live in the world.
Because he gave her permission to interview him as Superman.
Oh, I know.
That's what they were doing.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry. I'm going to give you an honest interview.
But that's Lois Lane reporter. That's what she
it was
do.
perfect.
Sure.
Yeah, I like it.
But
Superman,
Johnny, we live in an era now where reporters, if they ask a president a question like that, he gets mad and says they're nasty, even if they ask him a
nasty question. I like that they're calling him Taco now.
Trump always chickens out.
Why are they calling him Taco? I missed that.
Trump
because
always
of the tariffs.
Chickens out. TACO. Taco.
Because these tariffs, he keeps chickening out, and every time he does, the tariffs go down, the stock market shoots way up because.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
It's a very nasty question. It's very nasty.
He said it was a nasty question.
Well, it's what's her face with the eyebrows, Caitlin Collins from CNN. Boy, all right. Boy, that's another makeup. Man, the CNN, half the budget is for Caitlin Collins' eyebrow pencil.
Yeah,
because those are very severe eyebrows. Those are like Brezhnev eyebrows.
But yeah, back to that Superman one. I also like the scene in the trailer where he's like, "Hey, eyes up here," and then he flies. He seems like he's got more attitude than any other humor. Superman. Yeah.
And the kids were asking me. Somebody was asking me, about Superman, and I said Superman does things because he can, not because he feels he has to. He's the one superhero. Like Spider-Man has the guilt and Batman has the guilt, but Superman does it because he can. And it's like I always say that it's like if you go to the grocery store and there's a little old lady can't reach the cans on the top shelf, you walk by and give it to her because you can. It's so easy. That's how Superman views everything. And there's been a lot of reveals of toys, and my brain goes to the toy and trying to figure out where it comes from. But there's a whole bunch of references to what me and Franco pitched as a Superman story, and there's references to our superpowers and our Superman family. And I kind of hope that this stuff is true to what I'm thinking, because then it would mean that James Gunn reads our books and read our pitch for Superman. Because it was a few years ago where we were offered to do in between stories for Superman, and the story we ended up pitching was a whole story, it was multiple issues. And I remember the editor asked me, how many issues do you need to tell this? And I said, just give me 12. Just give us 12 issues. We could do a whole year, or give us 6 here, take a break, give us 6, do something. When we need 12, it was how to bring them back and how to make them cool again. And we went through multiple meetings, like New 52 meeting, and then it led to this and this. So in our pitch, there was a moment where a pod was created in the fortress that had a baby in it, and the baby was created. And in our story, it eventually was turned out to be a Brainiac baby. It was like, and Superman looked at that baby as his brother because he comes from Krypton and stuff. So in the toys, they revealed that there's a baby Brainiac. They're calling him Baby Joey, and all the McFarlane toy reveals are revealing this little. What? Yeah, there's little green baby toy, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I've seen it too. Art.
But if that's a reference to what our story was, because at the end of our story we had Brainiac comes back as in female form, and Brainiac looks just like Lara, and that's why she's able to defeat Superman. So if that is part of the story, that would be something that I'm like, I bet James Gunn read our stuff. And also there's a character called Ultraman, who's is a real character in the DC universe. He's from the opposite Earth where the Justice League are bad guys.
Yeah, the Crime Syndicate.
Crime Syndicate. So on their planet, he's also Clark Kent, but so he would be a character that would be Superman, but he's evil. But in this trailer, he wears a whole bodysuit and he covers his face. So if that's something that where he comes from the opposite planet, and maybe he'll unmask himself and he'll be Superman. And that was an element we used in Superpowers, where in our Superpowers book, the baby Brainiac grew up to become an evil Superman. And he was green, but he had the Brainiac symbol, but he had blonde hair, and he became Superman. And in our book, the unknown Superman came from the future and fought Prime L. His name was the evil Superman. They fought, and the unknown Superman unwrapped himself, and he revealed that he was Prime L from the future, and he took Prime L, the evil Superman, back to the future to become the Superman of the future. So if that has any element to this Ultraman guy, and if that's any trace of a story like that, I know they read our stuff and our pitches. So I'm hoping like that Ultraman and that little baby Brainiac is like.
I don't think it was
connecting.
Because we weren't invited on a set visit. We weren't part of the group.
But we didn't get our. But we also didn't get our names in that Teen Titans Go movie, and that lifted the artwork
really
from.
Yeah.
So like,
really
they don't have to do anything, and and the Super Bet movie exists because of the books were successful.
That's right.
I know it's not the same characters or story, but why would they make that if I didn't make 50 books?
It's very disappointing, guys, that they didn't acknowledge you for both of those movies.
Yeah,
I saw some images of the Ultraman action figure.
Yeah.
And no disrespect, Artie, but I hope it isn't Earth 3 Crime Syndicate Ultraman, and because because really, guys, the one thing I hate when we get advance word and all these YouTube shows, and I don't like this, and it's like, watch the movie and then we'll discuss. And
right.
But that said, hold on. My point is, I hope that it's not a parallel world Superman that is this Ultraman, because my only fear is that they might be overcomplicating this movie, and as it is, shoving in Hawkman and Green Lantern and all these other Mr. Terrific. Metamorpho, absolutely. Supergirl. And I love all these characters, but it's like, keep it simple and take your time. Yeah. And I don't want him to make the same mistake they made with the Zack Snyder movies. And it's like, you don't have to rush.
But I don't think he will. I mean, he handles groups really well. Just look at the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
You're right.
I mean, he did.
And whatchamacall, Suicide Squad.
Peacemaker also. Yeah.
And Peacemaker.
But like when Guardians of the Galaxy was announced, I'm like, what? He's doing this with these? Like, what are they thinking? I went to go see that movie. I was blown away. I'm like, this has so much heart. It was just So I have high hopes, and the trailer.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, no. But the trailer, like, people are criticizing, the Lois Lane about the question. I'm like, no, that's Lois Lane. That's exactly what Lois Lane would do.
You're damn right.
Yeah, she's tough.
Him yelling, people were dying. That's fucking Superman. That's
I'm with
what
you.
he does.
No, I'm absolutely with you. Yes.
Yeah. So the Guy Gardner being, Guy Gardner with Nathan Fillion being like, like smirky and like attitude, and that's Guy Gardner.
Yeah,
like,
that's it. Yeah.
Just those small instances of those characters makes me feel really good about this movie and
I agree.
I have really high hopes for it. Yeah.
Yeah. I really like the fan theories before the movie, but then once the movie comes out, you're like, okay, it's like the fan theories are gone. And you always wish, like, especially with some movies, you always wish they went a certain way, but when they don't, you can't really get mad that they didn't, because that's the movie they gave us.
Yeah, Ultraman could be a clone. He could be Bizarro under there.
Yeah, from what I understand too, the toys are spoiling a lot of things, and there's a toy 4-pack with Guy Gardner, Ultraman, Superman, and Lex in a Lex suit, and the title of it is called like Lex's Lab Experiment or something like that, and it has Crypto and that baby Brainiac in case. It may not be Brainiac, but he's a little green baby, and but from what that tells me is that there's going to be experiments with the baby, but maybe Ultraman is an experiment. And maybe when Ultraman takes the mask off, maybe he's a green alien like that baby. That's all I'm thinking. Something
or Bizarro.
Like that. A Bizarro something. But I think the Ultraman comes from Lex's lab somehow. Maybe he might be like that Nuclear Man. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. And what the thing about with the characters, what I was hoping for was that when he's in the snow and he whistles for Crypto, I said before they showed this new piece that I said it would be cool if the movie opened with that, because then he could go back and get fixed up at the fortress, and then all of these scenes could be more him like flashbacking, because if you tell him in order, it might be a lot, but if you skip around, he says, what are you going to do when the Justice League came? When maybe the whole movie is Lois interviewing him and they're flashback in between. That would be a cool way to maybe show scenes that you don't have to start beginning, middle, end. And I don't know, maybe they'll fit in stuff like that, because there's a lot. It seems like there's a story just around the Kaiju Ninja thing they got going on. So
what?
So maybe,
wait a minute.
What?
He's not wearing
what? Maybe this is the origin of the Ninja Kaiju. But like, there's a lot, and I hope, man, I can't wait for it. I think it's gonna be good. I don't think it's gonna disappoint. Just the trailers are getting better and better. And that 5-minute trailer with the fortress coming out of the ground, like
that was amazing.
That's what sold the movie for me.
And
then
also,
Crypto
again,
barking with the screen open up or the S lighting up.
Yes, yeah.
But all I know is if that was Streaky instead of Crypto, Superman would have been dead.
He would have
lying in the snow dead, and the cat would have eaten his face.
Like your guys' cartoon. Yeah, like your guys' cartoon. Absolutely.
Streaky doesn't forget. So we'll see.
When I told you guys when the first trailer came out and we saw Crypto, I immediately did the screen cap of Artie, me, and Jimmy being saved by Crypto.
Yeah,
I put on social media. I know what it's like to be saved by Crypto.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
So
did you guys see the Peacemaker 2 trailer with Guy Gardner and Hawk Girl?
Are they in it with him?
Yeah. So it's a little clip, and they bring Peacemaker into like an interrogation room, and he sits down. And it's
and they're interviewing him, right?
Yeah, they're interviewing him, and Guy Gardner is real cocky. They're like, this guy sucks, and they forget that the microphone's turned on so Peacemaker can hear all of them. And he gets all sad because he's like, yeah, you guys said I suck. And they're like, yeah, you're not a good fit for this team.
Because there are only 3 members, right? And
well, it's Sean Gunn, who's James Gunn's brother, is in the middle. And we don't know who his character is, but he's in the middle of Hawk Girl and Guy Gardner, and they're just like, they forget the microphone's on, and they're like making fun of Peacemaker. They're like, who is this guy? He sucks. And they're like, let's get out of here.
Oh, you guys don't know, or maybe I've told you guys before, but at a convention one year, we were all on a bus going to the airport. I won't identify the convention, but people can connect the dots. And we're waiting, and it's all these, comic creators and different people. And the bus driver goes, yeah, we got to wait for Sean Gunn. And we're like, all right. And then literally it's like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Because we're all getting like 6 a.m. flights. And literally, we're waiting for like 20 minutes to go to the airport. And finally, Sean Gunn struggles to the bus. And he's like, yeah, sorry, I thought I was getting my own limousine. And all of us are like, it's like, yeah, just shut up and sit down.
Yeah.
Sit in the van.
Exactly. And it wasn't literally, Artie, it was a bus. It was big.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, we're just like, just shut up and sit down. Chucky was with me as well.
Chucky.
But yeah, he's like, hey, remember Sean Gunn? I'm like, yes, I do. So, and I love Sean Gunn. I love him in all the Guardians movies. And I know he's James's brother, and whatever. But yeah, I was not happy with Sean Gunn at 4 in the morning.
I know when we were riding in the van with Guggenheim, Steve
Yes.
Guggenheim.
Yeah,
and
Mark,
at the end of the
Mark.
trip, I was calling him Goog. Later, Goog. Because he brought it up first. He told me I remind him of Vince Gilligan. The way he said we look like related to him.
Breaking Bad and X-Files writer.
Yeah, we started talking about Breaking Bad. And I remember telling him on the way there what he should do with Superman on the CW. And he kept quiet. And then they ended up doing all that stuff. They gave him his own series and this and that. It was
they always wanted to give like the Arrow producers wanted to use Superman more and more. And Warner Brothers and the movie side are like, no. And they really kept like putting up, even on Supergirl, it took like a season before finally Tyler Hoechlin was physically there as Superman. And by the way, all right, I can say it. Mitch has announced that Superman and Lois from the last show are going to be at Terrificon this summer.
That's cool.
That's going to be great.
And when I was in Metropolis about 2 years ago, remember in the Supergirl show where there's a shadow of Superman and he holds his hand out and it's in the beginning?
Yeah.
Well, that guy was signing. I met that guy, the guy who was the shadow of Superman. And he looks a little bit like Tyler Hoechlin, but he's a little different features, but he looks like him, the same hair. It looks like he'd be his brother. But I'm like, why didn't they just cast you? And he didn't know why. But he looked good.
I already asked him that.
Like, why didn't you?
Rub it in, Artie. Way to rub it in.
Like, wow, you look great.
But
he looked like he looked like the Fleischer Superman. He looked and he was wearing the suit behind his table. Yeah.
At the Kingdom Come Alex Ross documentary screening, they had a guy who looked like old man Kingdom Come Superman with great temples. And
I saw that. Yeah.
Big beefy guy, but he looked great.
Was he the guy from the reference? Was he the same guy they used for reference?
No.
Oh, he wasn't.
That's a different guy, and that guy's in the movie. And I asked Morgan from the Superman Museum if he's the Superman from her Superman celebrations, and she said no.
No, it's a different guy.
But we're both like, man, he was really good, and he was really. And even he tinted. You could tell he tinted his hair gray.
Yeah,
for the great temples like Kingdom Come.
Yeah, the guy from the Superman celebration is he's been the same guy for a while, but every year he gets bigger, like stronger. And I was at the last one I went to it. He always comes in to see the artists and talk and take pictures. And I walked up to him and said, "Hey man, I always wanted to do something." And that's all I said. And he went, "Okay." And he puffed out his chest and I touched it like that. And I went, "Thanks."
What it did you touch, Artie?
His S. I touched his chest. Fine.
All right, that could have been a lot of different. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, he touched his chest.
Yeah, he could have puffed out other parts too. Exactly. It's like, show me on the towel where Artie touched you, Superman.
I touched him right in his S. Yeah, but he was real cool. He knew what I wanted.
Barry Lopez says, "Can't wait to see you guys at San Diego this
year." Oh yeah, Barry. There's his family in the drawings. Yeah, it's gonna be good, man. San Diego's gonna be fun.
Like it a lot.
Like it.
I'll be at Heroes Con in a couple of weeks.
Hey, excellent. That's a fine show.
Yeah.
That's a fan favorite.
I'll be going to bed in a little bit.
I was going to say we could wrap up, boys. I know it's late, Artie or rather Franco and Scoot's time.
Yeah.
Just the shank of the evening, Artie and my time.
The shank.
This was good pod.
Franco stays up late now.
It's true. Later
Look,
and later.
It's way past midnight, and I'm still up.
Yeah, he doesn't need
Really?
No, it's not. It's 11.
Is it?
It's not. It's
even
not
no time.
No.
I got things covering my clock.
I understand.
Yeah, it was fun podding with you guys. We forgot to
see.
recap C2E2 though.
Yes,
we'll do it next time.
We got
Harold's
Harold's Chicken
next time.
I stayed at
Ghost
Dave's,
coming up,
and
too.
Dave had a sock laying there, a random
Did he?
sock. Yeah.
Did you take a picture?
I told Johnny and Franco, it's like when I stayed with Johnny, there was the glove, and now I stay with Dave, and there was a sock because he had cleaned up where I was staying on the couch and stuff. But then on the way to the bathroom in the hallway, there's just one sock laying in the hallway.
Yeah,
that's happening in the Vatican now with Pope Leo.
Yeah,
that's a Chicago tradition. We use one article of clothing. Sorry, my skivvies are on the floor. I hope nobody minds.
It's like the Earth 3 Yoko chips.
Sorry, You think Pope Leo, like his hat? You think his underwear is bedazzled the way the Pope hat is and everything?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's bulletproof. You got those windows.
Your Holiness, not only silk, but we got rhinestones all over the underwear. Okay, it might get a little bumpy down there.
Does he? You think he says over by there?
Over by there. Those guys better.
Let's
gotta ask him how do you say
over
Chicago.
by there.
Does he? When he gets back to Chicago, does he instantly go right back to a Chicago accent?
Hey,
oh yeah, he does.
Hey,
I'm thinking like they're like, hey Pope, what do you want for lunch? I don't know. What do they got here in Rome? They got that Portillo's. They got
the beef sandwich.
Yeah, with ketchup on it.
Got Italian beef.
Yeah,
we don't have Italian beef. What do you mean? No, we're in Italy.
We're all counting on him making ketchup on hot dogs a holy sin.
Yeah.
He's writing it in. I got a proposal, everyone. No ketchup on hot dogs
if that's the case, then I'm going to hell, Johnny. Because
and he likes Chicago pizza over New York pizza, Franco.
Of course he does.
Oh yeah, he does.
Oh, by the way, I love when St. Louis puffs out their chest and go, "Oh, we're the inventors of thin crust pizza. We've been doing it since 1964." And we're like, Chicago's been doing it since 1940.
Yeah.
Sit down.
1901 with the socks.
Sit down, Indiana.
Saying, Well, it's the truth, man. It's because I saw a bunch of articles from St. Louis, and they call it, tavern style pizza. And it started in St. Louis in 1964. And it's like, well, I don't know. And even my dad was 10 years too late. I'm like, well, my dad was making it in 1950. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But okay.
It's always been around since the beginning of time.
Just stick with Budweiser, right? That's what the Budweiser and the Cardinals. That's what you're known
pizza over by there.
By a guy in 33rd Street.
I like the pizza.
Then you say north side and south side. There's no H.
My Chicago accent is always based on that guy from Vince from Mike and Molly. I like that guy.
Yeah, and the guy said, "Hey, we're trying to eat and commiserate here." That guy.
He's from Lake Placid, New York. But Robert Forster, the guy who was in Jackie Brown, the bail bondsman, he has what sounds like a Chicago accent. And he said, "Nah, I'm from Lake Placid. We got the same kind of accent, even though we're not from Chicago." But people say that all the time over by there.
Almost Canadian.
It's north and cold. That's why.
Probably. But no, I love that guy. Franco, I started watching Mike and Molly because he told me about that guy, Vinny or whatever his name was. I swear to God, if this country don't watch it, we're all going to be run over by the Chinese.
I caught an episode the other day, and it was a Thanksgiving episode. And he goes, "Hey, listen, babe, I took the Viagra, so after dinner, if I'm out, don't waste that. You go full blow."
Don't waste it.
Yeah, he goes, "Don't waste that."
And I forget what the specifics, but the kid six there, was always sleeping around and stuff. And it's like, hey, if she don't watch it, she better start working the pole before her knockers start to droop. And it's like, beautiful. Thank you, Vince. Fantastic.
Can't say it no more.
Well, I just did.
I know.
Well, I just
like it. I like it.
By the way,
we come from a time. Yeah.
On Jag, there's a bunch of innuendos that I'm like, no way would that stuff fly today. Hilarious.
You can't even say what you're talking about Willis anymore. Does it mean something else? Doesn't it?
Maybe. I don't know.
Does it?
I don't know. No, people just don't know what you're saying.
About Willis, not Willie.
Oh, I say. People just don't know the reference. Why does he keep calling me Willis?
Yep. And Rudy says he always thought the regular guy, movie critic from WXRT, had the best accent.
Oh yeah, the regular guy. Even though Saturday Night Live does the Bears guys, but they're pretty accurate. Yeah.
Chris Farley ate that Polish sausage.
Our good guy George Wendt, our good friend George Wendt left. George Wendt.
Dude, that was like literally it took all the Pope Leo wind out of our Chicago sales when George went. We're like, oh man, favorite son. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, truly, we all love George Wendt. Yeah. I didn't know he was Jason Sudeikis' uncle.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're related. Yeah, I knew that kind of, but then I forgot. And then when it was reminded, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, follow us when you see us.
Yeah,
over by there.
That was good pod, boys.
Yeah,
it was good.
How about
it? Was fresh. You guys are awesome.
Come back and goodbye.
Come back and watch us talk about Superman.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah, that's
nice
the plan.
to each other.
All right. Stand by.
Fellas, okay, bye-bye.